right, everyone. This is Founder Laren with Fantasy Grounds Academy. I have 5 willing victims here to participate in the Halloween one-shot. Some of the people here are new and some are experienced. We got a nice mix of different players here, which is good. The play style that we have today is not going to be a high-stakes, high-rolling type game. We're going to take our time and go through some of these things and try to have fun. So our main goal here is to get used to playing Fantasy Grounds and get used to playing our favorite rule set in the Fantasy Grounds Academy application for Fantasy Grounds. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Laren. I'm the founder of Fantasy Grounds Academy. I have some other players here. I'd like to go down the list in Discord. So Broken Command, what is happening with you? How are you today? Are you there? Okay.
He might be still doing his dog.
Oh, sorry, I was muted for no reason.
Oh,
okay. Hello.
And the wife is laughing hysterically in the background for me. So I'm doing good.
All right. So I just wanted to get an idea. How much Fantasy Grounds are you about? Much you know?
I've been using Fantasy Grounds for about a month and a half, give or take. I'm currently in the production of creating my own campaign with about 9 other players.
Okay. Sounds good. So next we have Ayakika.
Yep. Ayakika, and I downloaded Fantasy Grounds this morning, so I am a brand new baby.
Right on.
Oh, wow.
Lady Shell.
Yeah, I've been playing since about May of 2018. I've never played in person. I've only played in Fantasy Grounds, so I guess I'm skilled.
Okay. Sam.
Hey guys, so I actually got Fantasy Grounds a little while ago. I've not played a session yet. I expect to DM in the next couple of weeks in Fantasy Grounds, so I'm super excited to kind of learn the system on this side of the table so I could be a good DM. In terms of D&D, I've maybe played a handful of times, so pretty new here, so excited to be here.
All right, cool. And last but not least, TC Bell.
Hi. Yeah. I'm your Australian input. I would say I've been playing it for about a year, D&D and Fantasy Grounds, but I'm still on a slow learning curve, so yeah,
That's fine.
still don't call myself experienced.
Okay. All right,
But I love
so
it.
I like that we have a diverse group here. We have different levels of experience and exposure to the platform, and that's exactly what college is about, is to get people used to the idea of playing your favorite games using this platform. It's very powerful. It does take a little time to develop the skills to use the platform effectively, but as you will see during the stream, we're going to have problems. We're going to work on them together. We're not going to abandon everyone or ignore it. So we want you to see realistically how a game might go, depending on your familiarity with it and that sort of thing. But to the actual adventure, today I've prepared a Halloween one-shot. Is definitely themed for Halloween. It's not a PG 13 or less. So if you are under the age of 13, I encourage you to either watch with your parents or find something else to do. We try to keep the cussing and the swearing down. There is a little bit of gore and that sort of thing, so I kind of want to put that disclaimer out there. So if you're not old enough to watch this, please go to a different channel if you can. But if you are older than 13, obviously you could probably handle most of the content. Try to stay away from some of the taboo topics, so I'm trying to make sure that this is more family friendly than. So without that, getting that part out of the way, let's get started. So basically, all of you have been called for and assembled as a team of individuals who are going to investigate a mansion that has fairly recently been abandoned. Unfortunately, the town that it is in has just suffered through a really bad, I want to say, a plague. You had heard rumors that the plague had been very devastating to the town. The town is called Ashford, and it's located, in a fairly large kingdom with a king, and there's all these dukes and lords and such. But this little town in particular, what makes it interesting is that it is at a crossroads, and a lot of people travel through it, but they don't hardly ever stay. And one of the reasons for that is kind of podunk. It's a farming town, but there are some interesting individuals that have settled in the town over the years. One of them was a mage that has not been seen in months, so they're not sure if this magic using person has been out of the loop, or maybe they're not there. It's hard to say. And then the town itself has been recently abandoned in the last few months because of the plague, and a lot of people had either died or they moved. So you guys are kind of being thrown into this aftermath of this cursed town, I should say. And one of the directives that you have is to investigate the mansion itself. So when we start the game, we're going to start right outside the mansion. We're going to skip all the normal stuff that we normally do in a campaign, where you lead up to the place. Well, we're at the place now. So I'm going to share a map with you, and what you're going to want to do is size it to where it's going to fit on the screen, so that it's easier for you to play. We're going to go through the setup here because it's very important that you learn this as a player and that you understand this as a game master. So first thing is first is I'm going to pull up a run list that I've made. So I have a note that I've created ahead of time, and this is what I use when I prep my campaigns. I got some lore here, I got a bunch of links here, so I'm going to bring up the first map that we're going to be using, which is the first floor of a mansion. You guys are outside of the mansion. It is pouring down rain. It is nasty outside. There's a little bit of thunder and lightning going on. It's not a very pleasant outdoor experience right now. I think you're a little bit anxious to get inside, but you're also a little bit apprehensive because there have been rumors that a lot of strange and mysterious things have been happening here. And when I mean strange and mysterious, I mean strange and mysterious. There have been lights reported, even though the proprietor has been MIA for 2 or 3 weeks. I just shared the map. It should have popped up on your screen, or it will shortly. So are all of you seeing the map?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I'm seeing a black space because are we on the map?
Yes.
Oh, I don't see myself. I just have a big black space.
Okay. So what we might have to do is, if that happens to you, it could be that the map's not fully loaded. So close the map, reopen it, see if that helps. So if the map hasn't shown up for you, just close the map and then reopen it. Sometimes that'll fix it.
Well, I have good internet, so it's not me.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, each one of those tokens, identify which one of those is yours, and then click on it.
It's not opening for me. I'm double-clicking my token.
Okay, just hold on. So that's basically, if you double-click on the token or single-click, that's how you select or deselect. So if you single-click on the token, that selects it. If you double-click or you click again, that will unselect it. And I think that's a disconnect that a lot of players have. So everybody good so far? Shell, are you still waiting?
Still don't have a map. It's black. The whole thing is black.
Okay.
Looking at the map, it looks like everyone has a green border, but her character actually doesn't have that. I don't know if that has anything to do with
it does. So I'm going to remove her.
Maybe I'm not on there.
You're not. So this is something that, as a game master, you're going to come across. So that means that her token, the link between the map and her token is broken. So the way to fix that is to delete her token, or a person who's having trouble, and you can re-drag and drop. Now look at it, Shell.
Now
Or-
I can see
Yeah,
where
there
we
you
are.
go. You've
So,
got your little green
Whoever said
frame.
that, who was that noticed that?
Not me.
No, I
What?
know it was one of the guys, but
Oh.
who noticed the token not being highlighted? Is that you, Sam? Hello, hello.
Sorry, was hitting the wrong button. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that was good
Yeah.
because that's exactly what it was. So what he's saying is, if you don't have this little green ring around it or a yellow, whatever it is, more than likely that character is no longer attached to the map, and that happens occasionally when you update Fantasy Grounds or when you're messing around in your setup. So somehow her token was broken from the map. So there's a link between the combat tracker and the map. If you guys notice that, it will happen occasionally, that's how you fix it. If that doesn't work, what you can do is have the player disconnect from Fantasy Grounds and then reconnect. Sometimes that will fix it too.
So you remove them from the combat tracker or release the character from that person?
Remove them from the combat tracker and then put it back on. And that usually fixes that problem. Not always, but 90% of the time it does. Okay, so can you guys all see on the map?
Yep.
Everybody good? Okay. So when you want to move, you're going to drag your token, and you don't want to, or try not to cross through your players, although you can. But it costs you movement. It's considered difficult terrain when you cross inside of the same square as your player. That means you're moving around each other, so that affects your movement. So you lose 5 or 10 feet. It says 10 feet, but depending on the situation, I might just say it's 5. I might say it's 15. But you're going to lose movement regardless of what you're doing. If it's an enemy, by the rules, you're not supposed to be able to move through them unless you're like a little gnome or something that can go between their legs. And there's usually a feat or some kind of skill for that. But generally, you cannot cross through another token by the rules. But in Fantasy Grounds, it doesn't prevent you from doing that. But just know as a player that you're not supposed to go through obstacles or through enemies. And if you go through your allies, it costs you movement. And that's what
Or
I wanted.
walls.
Yeah, normally, though, if you have the occluders up, you can't go through the wall. But she's right. If there's a feature on the map that you're not supposed to go through, that's a problem.
It didn't used to be that way. People used to drag their token just willy-nilly all over the place, and now you can't because of the way that the line of sight is set up.
Right. So if the line of sight is created correctly, you can't go through walls. If there's a leak, like there's a one little spot in the wall that's not connected, then that's a problem. Yeah, so Ilaria, you shouldn't actually be able to move. Okay, so there must be a leak somewhere. Okay, so the premise here is we're going to get used to moving the tokens, and I want to be patient with you guys and give you a chance to explore your character sheets and that sort of thing. Generally, when you're playing, though, you want to be on the Actions tab. So if you're not already there, on the right-hand side of your sheet, you go to the Actions tab, and then at the very bottom, there's two different ways you can change. So it should be on Combat, and then the display should be on Actions. And if you don't see that, you're probably in the Edit mode. So that should be set to Combat and Actions in most cases. The only time you'd switch it around is if you're leveling up your player or you're redoing your readied items like your spells and such. So that would be prep mode, preparation mode. But Combat and Actions is pretty much where you want to be when you're playing. And then let's go back to your main tab. So on the very top right, let's click on the main tab. And in the very center of this, you'll notice that there's Armor Class, Initiative, and Speed. You can drag your initiative down to one of the hotkeys down below. So don't click on it or double click, just single click hold down on your left mouse button, hold it down, drag and drop it on one of the hotkeys below. And what that does is it sets up a shortcut, so you only have to single click on the taskbar or on your shortcut keys when initiative is required. And that way, if you're on the Actions tab, you don't have to come all the way back to this front page just to roll initiative. And that helps a lot. Especially if you're...
say, though, these tabs at the bottom, they're very narrow.
Yeah. And that's because of the graphics. They're actually larger. They just look narrow because of the way the graphics are drawn.
So whenever I click on it, it just brings up a dice, and it's not bringing it down to the
Okay. So you just hold down the left mouse button and click. You click it and then hold down and then drag it down to the hotbar. If you're are you using a mouse?
Yeah, release it into the
little
space you want to put it in, and it'll go there.
Yep. So you may not be...
okay. It did look like the dice, but then it goes in the hotbar when you release it there.
And that's right. It should look like the dice. So everyone go ahead and roll initiative. So you can either double click on that box that I had you drag the shortcut, or you single click on your shortcut bar.
Can we set our colors
for
our dice, though?
I was just getting to that.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so now you notice that most of you have the same color dice. So what we want you to do is go to the interface on the top right corner. You'll see a little palette. Looks like an old French painter's palette. If you open that up, you can switch the color of your token or of your dice so that when you roll, we can tell whose is whose. And if you look at the character's status that you're connected above the combat tracker, you'll see a little dot next to your name, and that's the color of the dice that you chose. So right now we're switching the color of the dice. There's a couple reasons for this. One, so we can tell who's rolling. The other is when you draw on a map, it'll draw in that color. So if you're a spellcaster and you pick this light blue, when you draw a area of effect, it's going to show the color of the dice that you chose. And we might be able to demonstrate that later. All right.
Why does the initiative have all that information after
I don't know.
For
I have no idea.
Various.
I think... I'm not sure why. 130 doesn't make sense. So, Ilaria, what are you doing when you do initiative? I'm not sure why it has that number. That doesn't look right. Are you there? Hello? Who's playing Ilaria? Okay.
Not me.
All right. Well, I'd like you guys to, yeah, 130, I don't think so.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay, my microphone is being weird.
So, are you just dragging I'm not sure what you've done, but the initiative, you put that down in your hotkey?
Yeah, I recently goofed and did AC and dragged it down. And when you do AC and click on there, if you see in the bottom left corner, it is a modifier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just re-drag it, and that will cancel it out.
Yeah, that's what I did.
All right. So now let's go ahead and double-click or re-initialize your initiative. So let's see if it works, because that's something that needs to happen. Yeah, that's...
Nope, it's still...
Yeah, you need to right-click on the shortcut and clear it, and then drag your initiative maybe to a different slot. And Marin, I don't see an initiative for you yet. Or do we have a Marin?
There we go. No, there is no Marin.
All right. Just removed him from the combat tracker. So that's another thing. You don't want anything on the combat tracker unless they're playing or something, or the GM is taking over. All right, cool. All right, so your initiative is going to be calculated in automatically with the dice roll. So if you have a dex modifier, that's already included. That's why you have a number in the initiative box. Okay, the next thing is when it comes to passing turns. So when I'm in the combat tracker, I have a little marker on the top left corner near the entry. So right now it's on Munkai because he rolled the highest roll. So what we'll do here is we'd proceed through the rounds and the turns. So Munkai, when you are done with your turn and you're done with your actions or whatever you're saying, you hit the down arrow on the bottom of the combat tracker, and that advances the turn to the next person. So
okay, got it.
Yep. So push the down arrow for next actor or turn complete, which is near the bottom of the combat tracker.
Gotcha. Are we just moving our way through it just so people can see it, or are we just taking turns?
Yeah, go ahead. Move through it.
All right.
Okay. Watch Commander, Ilaria, Maven, and Braley. Okay, so that advances a turn. Now it went to round 2. You guys can, and girls, you can move that button, the little down arrow, into one of your hotkeys if you want. So if you drag the little turn complete button and put it in one of your hotkeys, you can push it from there instead of reaching over and clicking there. I don't know if it's that much of a time saver, but having all those little buttons in one area really helps. It helps speed up your gameplay. Okay, I'm going to reset the rounds. I'm going to do a long rest. So I'm going to go to menu, rest, long rest. That should reset all the spell slots, all the initiatives, and the rounds. So we're just doing that for practice. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is going to be helpful in the long run. So go to your abilities tab on the right-hand side of your character sheet. And you'll notice, not the abilities, excuse me, the skills. And you'll notice a whole bunch of skills there. I want you to pick 2 or 3 of those that you think you might use a lot and drag and drop that down to the hotkeys below. And you want to drag the total number, not the little shortcut to the right of it, but the actual number, the dice roll. And I would suggest perception is probably the most common one. And then 1 or 2 of your other class-related ones, like maybe you have stealth or whatever. But you don't need to do all of them, just the top 3. And you're not necessarily going to know what the top 3 are because that changes throughout campaigns, but definitely want perception is probably the most common one. And that kind of helps so you don't have to keep coming back to the sheet as often. Because when you're playing, you want to stay on the Actions tab as much as possible. So you're just going to shortcut like your top 2 or 3 abilities skills that you think you might be using. And then go to your Actions tab when you're done making all your shortcuts. And make sure you're on Combat and Actions. And then you should see all your little buttons. And if you have trouble, knowing which buttons to push and when and how to do it, we'll tackle that when we get to that point. Everybody good so far? Any confusion?
Yep.
One thing that I noticed is Mirren is still on the party sheet. Don't know if you can.
It doesn't really matter because we're not doing that campaign stuff, but I can take it off.
Bye-bye, Goblin.
Also, one thing to note, while you removed him from the combat tracker, he was still on the map, and I was able to right-click and delete the token as a player.
Yeah, and that's because I think I have party vision on. Check. There's a setting where you can allow people to see other... Yeah, so no, party vision and movement's turned off. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I did delete them off the combat tracker. But thank you. Mm-hmm. So that is basically the setup or the start that you want as a player. And to coach your players, if you're the game master, to get this set up, because it does make the game a lot smoother. And if you have your map located so that you can see it, and you're going to leave it in one spot if you can help it, that way you're not constantly moving it around. And if you want your spells, like if you have a spell that you always forget how it works, you can bookmark that too down below. All right, so let's get started. So we kind of already got started, but I wanted to make sure that you guys understood the ramifications of movement and the setting up for a game. So the tokens, to make sure that you have possession of your token, so that would have like a ring around it or highlight it. If you don't, your vision won't work correctly. So a lot of people say, I can't see anything on the map. Well, they don't have their token on the map selected. So if you don't have it selected, you won't see the right stuff. Normally you will have it selected, but occasionally you might click on it again, and that deselects the token. At least as a GM it does. All right, so let's roll initiative. Let's establish a turn order so that we're not talking over each other. And that's something that is kind of inherent to playing online, is you can't really see each other, so it's hard to know when you're supposed to talk and when you're... Okay, so there again, Munkai is up front. So Munkai, before you is a large house or a mansion. It looks like it's more than or at least 2 stories. The rain is pouring down rain. I mean, it is just coming down in buckets. Actually, it's actually worse to be by the building, because the rain kind of forms and pools off of the house and drops down in bigger drops, almost like river type stuff. The rain is just horrible. There's a little bit of a wind, a breeze, and you guys notice like a kind of a foggy, I don't know, like clouds and fog kind of rolling through the streets here of the neighborhood that this house is in. There isn't too many other homes nearby. They're kind of off in the distance, but every once in a while the lightning will flash and you'll see the silhouettes of the other homes in this area. You're like in a courtyard. It's made of some old stonework. The house itself looks like it's fairly old. It looks like it's been updated a few times, but it's still been a long time. So it's not falling apart and dilapidated, but it is getting old. It kind of has that old smell. I don't know if you guys know, like when you have rain and like the mildewy smell, that's kind of the smell you're getting coming off the house with the wind when it's wafting that cold, wet air. You can you got that hint of the smell of kind of like rotting wood or something like that. So that's what you're faced with there, Bunkai. So what would you like to do? There's a set of doors in front of you. Looks like Cornwheel's taking point. What would you like to do?
Well, Bunkai's standing there. I mean, he's got simple clothes on, so he's probably pretty drenched right now with his robe on and things like that. So he's gonna kind of move over one, just kind of next to the door to look at watch commanders. Hey, well, let's see if anyone's home. I think, and he's gonna move over next to the door, trying to get under the overhang to where he's not as wet.
Okay.
And he's gonna go ahead and just I can't remember if it takes a key point to do patient defense, but he could at least just ready an armed strike.
That's fine. So go ahead and move your token. Just drag it to where you want to move it to, if you're going to. And then as the game master, I will approve it if I think it's a decent move. Fantasy Grounds doesn't prevent you from moving further than your movement rate, so you should look at the front of your sheet and get a rough idea. Usually it's between 4 and 6 squares, depending on what type of character you have.
Is it a special setting to modify that, or is that kind of where the default is?
That's the default. Can't change that. You can change, diagonal movement and such, but you can't change the fact that limiting people's movement. It doesn't do that. So you've moved, and I want you to click on the ready action. You've already done that. Great. So that'll expire if you don't use it before the next round.
Okay. and I just hit ready. I don't have to say like what action. I guess
you did. You said you're readying your unarmed or strike or something like that. So that's fine. Yes, you do have to declare it. Okay.
What's your trigger?
Yeah, what is it?
My trigger would be if anyone tries to once someone attacks any of us.
All right, you got it. So go ahead and pass your turn. Okay, Braley.
Okay. If I go up to the upper part of where the door is, can I like open the door, or do I have to be right in the middle?
Well, you're going to be kind of shoving your way past your horn wheel, but you can move closer.
Shoving my way, huh?
Well, it's basically what it would be. Like it's like they're standing in the doorway.
Out of the way. No, I'm not going to be like that.
So are you trying to open the door? Is kind of what
I would like to. Actually, I would like to listen at the door. So I'm going to move myself up, and then I'm going to move myself over, so I'm not ending in a spot on the player.
So describe how you're listening a little bit, and then roll a perception check in the dice tower.
Okay. Well, let me move first.
You need to move in the neck. There you go. Okay.
Okay, so when I get up there, I'm going to put my ear up to the door, and I'm going to use my perception to see if I hear anything inside.
Okay. So she's going to drag and drop from her skills or drag and drop from her shortcut into that gargoyle.
My hang on. My dice tower was somehow connected to my. Wait a minute. I guess I didn't have it locked. Okay. Wait a minute. Why is my initiative on my alt? Wait, hang on.
Yep.
There.
Okay, so you stick your big ear up to the door, and your elven ears are very sensitive, and you can feel some vibrations from the door, just really subtle. You hear a couple like popping sounds. You're not quite sure, but it almost sounds like wood burning. Like the popping sound you'd get from wood.
Do I smell anything that smells like wood?
You know, as soon as you say that, you get a waft of chimney smoke that's mixed with the wind that's coming off the building. So you suspect that there might be a fire inside. A fireplace or...
I relay that to the rest of the party, saying, I smell smoke, and it sounds or seems to me that someone is inside with a fire, whether it is a fire in a fireplace or someone's burning the place down. There's some burning going on in there.
All right. Anything else?
I think I'm gonna dodge.
Got it. So you're
just to be different.
Getting ready.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, I'm used to my dodge being at the bottom.
So you're gonna do a ready action and then dodge, basically. So if anything comes at you, you're gonna jump out of the way.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
My dex isn't that great.
Yeah.
I didn't build this character.
Okay, watch Commander Cornwheel.
He reaches forward and tests the handle.
Okay. Go ahead and open the door. If you click on it, if you're not too close to it, you should be able to open the door. Yep. Oops, you clicked it twice.
Oh, did I?
Yep.
There we go.
All right. So the door opens with a creak. Look inside. There's a slight glow coming from your left. You see a large staircase leading up into the darkness. And to your right is another set of doors similar to the ones that you just opened, although a lot less weathered. There's also a small desk on the left-hand side with a candle lit and an old suit of armor standing next to it. And there's a wall there. So 2 big double doors to the south, or not big, but double doors to the south, an opening or a hallway or an open and foyer area for the staircase. And then it looks like there's a glow from the fireplace coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you like to do? You open the door, it creaks open.
Step inside far enough to allow everybody in.
All right.
And I can't do any more actions now. Otherwise, I would do a perception, but that's fine.
You could actually do a perception. Yeah.
I can? Okay.
Because you haven't attacked or anything. You only moved and you just opened the door, so...
Oops, that should have gone in tower, right?
Yeah, but nonetheless, don't worry about it. So you're kind of looking around. You can hear and confirm the popping coming from the wood. Although the fire is burning down, it looks like it's been going for a while. It doesn't seem like this place is as abandoned as it had been reported before. So you suspect that somebody's in here, and you're not sure why or what for, but they are not legally here. So whoever's here is not here legally, as far as you know. Because this place is supposed to be locked up, and it's not supposed to be, used as a hotel. It's a private property.
Someone's about to get their butt arrested. I signal to the others, quiet and enter. Like, come on.
Okay.
But kind of whisper, like a whisper signal.
Come on.
But not talking at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of waving them forward.
Yeah, just signaling, kind of.
Okay. So you want to do it? Oh, I think you're done, right? Talked, you moved, you looked around.
Yep, that's no more.
All right. Laria.
All right, I think we'll move up through the main door after getting the signal first.
Yep.
And can I also perform a perception check in the doorway of where the fireplace is and see if there's anything known? Like,
yeah, go ahead and move.
Recent?
Yeah, go ahead and move, and we'll see where you end up. That'll determine how much you see or hear.
Waiting for approval, it looks like.
Oh. Sorry about that. Okay, so as you go in, you can see this opening in the staircase. You see Cornwall looking around. I described the hall area as kind of like an opening. There's some empty coat hooks on the south wall, and then there's a doorway next to that that's closed. And then you can see the like a fireplace, and it looks like it's been burning for a while. There's a couch sitting in front of it, a bearskin rug, and an old pile of wood next to the fireplace. So from your observations, go ahead and roll a perception in the dice tower. So you can drag it from your shortcut key. Okay, so you're guesstimating that whoever lit that fire has probably been at least 2 hours, based off the way the wood is burnt. Kind of hard to tell from your distance, though, because you're not close enough to the fireplace, but just based off of what you can observe from this vantage point, that's kind of your guess, is at least 2 hours. And all of you that have entered, like Cornwall and Laria, and even the people near the door, you smell this stench. It's horrible. It smells like piss and I don't know how. Pee and mildew and maybe rotten food, a slight hint of rotting food. And the pee smells foul, like someone urinated in this area.
Sounds like there's squatters here.
Hey.
Can they not walk out the door to do their thing? Like,
I don't know, it's be a dead body or something nearby too.
Yeah, peed themselves before they died, maybe.
Anything else, Laria?
Do I have the option to do like an insight check after hearing all that and possibly see if...
Sure, because we're not really in combat, so I'll allow it. I don't mind if you guys do a couple checks if we're out of combat. Because it's not really Okay. So from what you gained from the insight, it's probably some sort of animal smell that you can, the actual urine smell. The mildew probably comes from the dampness and the moisture. It's coming from outside and kind of seeping into the walls of the building. It's just old. And the little musty smell coming off the candle. That candle looks like it's been there for quite a long time. And based on how far it's burned, I mean, it's hard to tell. Like, if it was a fresh candle, it would have been at least 4 hours. But you don't know what the starting point of it. And to the south are some double doors that are closed. So you saw the empty coat hangers. So there's no jackets hanging there. The suit of armor looks old. It's got rust on it. It doesn't look like it's been oiled or shined in quite a while. As a matter of fact, there's a pretty good amount of dust on it. Staircase looks like it's been used recently, but only because the railings at the bottom. It looks like at least someone was there, within the last month or so, because the railings have spots on it that are clear of dust from just your vantage point. But you can't see up the staircase. You can just see the handles basically. And the rug that you're standing on is fairly old and kind of musty. It's got a lot of dust in it. It's got some mud stains on it from God knows when. No recent stains or anything. So that's about all you can tell.
Okay. So I would assume it's relatively safe for everyone just to come in and start exploring then.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, that's how you feel. Let them know, or just kind of.
I agree.
Until
Let's
we
check
know.
this place out.
Yeah. So I'll end my turn.
Okay. All right, Maven.
I'm going to be a little unconventional and move down and just check around that corner, make sure nobody's there watching us.
Okay, cool. So you kind of being cautious. So you move down to the edge of the courtyard, and you notice this brick wall that surrounds this place is fairly tall. It's about 12 feet tall, so it kind of blocks from most of the visual outside. But you peer around the corner, and what you notice is just the edge of the building, and there's an area of shadow where it looked like a really good hiding spot. You don't see anything there, although you have this mental impression that maybe at some point in time someone did hide there. You just kind of got this psychic impression of someone standing there, and you're not sure why, but your intuition is kind of getting the best of you. Like you're I wouldn't say you're seeing things, but you're kind of being a little bit overly cautious. I'd say nervous, kind of.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I will use, so that was 10 feet of movement. So I will just move right here.
Okay. And as you're moving back, you notice that others walking in, and you can see a little bit of light spilling out of the door. Okay, cool.
And that would be it for me.
All right, great. Okay, Munkai.
And Munkai, he agrees with Ilaria, so he's going to. I know I don't get my unarmed strike anymore, but he's going to try to move his way through the door. But before I do that, he's going to try to hunch down and try to be as stealthy as possible. Try to scope out this this front room here.
Okay, so if you're going to move stealthily, I want to need you to roll a stealth check in the dice tower. So from your skills, just drag and drop it into the dice tower, or your shortcuts. I don't know what you shortcutted.
All right.
Okay, and then for movement, just move up 1, and then you can move 2 more squares inside, because you can only move half your movement rate when you're moving stealthily. So you can move 2 more squares through the doorway. So you can drag from that. There you go. Yep. So you're right up next to the suit of armor. You can smell the rust and urine smell. Actually, the smell of pee is a little bit stronger behind this statue. Or not statue, but suit of armor. So it's stinky.
And I don't know if I've already. I guess my action would be to get stealth, so I'll complete my turn there.
Okay. You can observe, and you see the staircase and all the other descriptions that I'd given the others, except for your extra observation was that the urine smell is stronger along that wall than when you first walked in.
I'll say that I'll relay that to the others as well. Just kind of whisper and kind of gesture towards that location.
Okay. But you were very quietly, gingerly walking in, so the floorboards didn't creak when you were walking through. You noticed that when the others walked in, that the floorboards creaked a little. Okay, Brayley.
Okay, I was just looking at my features here. I guess, do all elves have that that skill, pass without a trace, or is that something that's a spell?
Well,
I'm thinking it's a class feature, right?
It used to be a class feature in older editions, but pass without a trace usually is something. It's a spell or a feature that comes with, like a druid or a ranger.
Ranger. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I am gonna make my way in. I guess that's all the only place I can't really get past everybody. I haven't seen like in the room to the north, because okay, now I can see it, but not very much. One guy's right in the way and he's blocking all the light. So
well, you see doors to your right, close to you. Behind you on the wall is the empty pegs for the coats.
Behind me?
Yeah, well, in the south.
I can't see anything to the south of me.
Well, it's not there physically, but
I'm
describing that there are some pegs there where people would hang their coats. And then you see the staircase, and then see Cornwell kind of looking around, checking the safety.
Oh, how wide is this opening to get into the room?
It's a little, well, on map-wise, it's about 10 feet, but it's really not that wide, but it is double doors. About 8 feet wide, the doors.
Could I go north and then diagonal northeast?
If you had the movement.
Is there an opening? How many did I
You moved 20, that's plenty, because you had to go through all this.
Oh, and I guess when I do diagonal, it's extra space. I'll just stay where I am, and let's see. I will.
You can try the doors, or you could just kind of remain and see what happens.
There's a door behind me?
No, to the south.
Yeah, behind me is to the. Well, I'm figuring south. I don't see a door. Oh, now I see a door. Wait, let me go one to my right. Now I've got the door to the south of me. I am going to listen at this door, same as I listened when I came in the main door, or was at the main door, and see if I hear anything.
All right. Go ahead and roll your perception.
Yeah, I keep forgetting where my tower is because it's so big. I moved it.
Fortunately, your allies are being fairly quiet. You stick your ear up to the doorway, and after about a few seconds of listening, you heard what you thought sounded like a little scurrying sound, or like a squeak.
Like something moving on the other side of this door.
Yeah, and it was just like a little high-pitched squeak.
Oh, okay. I'm going to whisper to the three people through through this door to the south, and I heard a little squeak, like maybe a mouse or a rat or something like that, or something imitating a mouse or a rat. And I will end my turn.
So just out of curiosity, I saw like a shadow of her dice roll, but I didn't see the results. Do you know why?
Anyone want to explain it?
It's because it was in the tower. Anytime that you roll in the tower, you do not see the roll. Only the DM sees the roll. And sometimes the DM may make a roll that, you know, gets kind of scary sometimes when you see a bunch of dice rolling in shadow and you don't know what's going on.
So the reason is that, one, what if Shelly was picking the lock or something? If she rolled lower,
I would not be picking the lock because I'm not good at it.
I'm just saying in general, if she rolled lower or higher than, like let's say she rolled really high or really low, that might change the way you play your character. That make sense?
Yeah, so do you tell us when we should roll, like, so that it's not for everybody? You tell us when it should be a secret roll?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't always have to. Some players prompt it. They say, hey, can I roll in the dice tower? But it's basically a visual versus mental thing. Like, there's no way you should be able to read her mind and know what she sees, or at least know what the result was, until I describe it. So that's it's a storytelling tool, is what it is.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, watch Commander Cornwall.
Right. Well, he takes this moment to brief the group, even though Maven's outside, so she may not hear. But he instructs everyone that the employer has requested that the place be protected from harm, and none of its valuables or memorabilia are to be taken under any circumstances. So yeah, good. Let's proceed then. He steps around Riley and tests the door and attempts to open it.
It's locked.
We have no rogue in the party either.
No. All right. Well, then that's locked. We'll leave it for them. For now, perhaps there is a key. We should not lockpick. That is against the law. So he will go this way. Not wanting to investigate the P. And he will stop there. He's not interested in the P. The P. Pass on the P.
It's horrible.
It's disgusting. Leave that to the women. Oh, that
Oops.
was sexist. Sorry.
Leave that to the others.
Others, yes. Let's
Braley raises an eyebrow.
Bring genders into her. Let's not bring gender into it. Okay. I told you. I warned you. I'm Australian. Be careful. Apologies in advance, people. Okay, that's my turn. I'm done.
All right. Well, you notice that the fire is still burning. There's some embers. You're guessing in an hour or two. And you thought that you may have heard a thump coming from the left. There's a doorway.
Yes. I see that doorway.
And you kind of look around and up in the staircase. And there's a bookshelf that's along the wall where the staircase is. And then farther from that are some shelves that are lining the eastern wall. Looks like they have dishes and More books and such. So it's almost like a living room study type thing.
Okay, so I'm standing at the corner of the staircase, is that right? It's a little unclear. Yep. Okay, yep.
You're right where the railing meets the ground there.
Braylee's ears perk up when she hears there's books in the other room.
Anything else?
She already passed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done, thanks. Yeah, it's Ilaria's. Ilaria's up.
So, I think I'm just going to move into that room.
Okay.
And oh, so there's a doorway right there.
So you may have heard that thump too.
Yeah.
And Monkai heard it too, like the thumping sound.
Can I test the door and see if that's locked?
Sure. Go ahead and move up a square. Yep.
Then what would I need to... Can I test if it's locked now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's locked.
And the thumping was coming from that room that Ilaria was testing, or the thumping's from another?
Okay. Yeah, it appeared so.
And you said the books are in this main room, kind of just south of this this brug?
Can I do a perception check in this room now since we're fully in and see if there's like a key or something that's in the area?
Sure. Kind of scan around. You're looking like, I guess, near the fireplace, on the little end table, and beyond into the dimness. You don't really see any evidence of a key.
That locked door concerns me.
You notice that the door can be locked from the inside too, because of the way the door is made. So if someone has a key, they might be in there. And that's the only other thing you can see that's abnormal.
Can I do a strength check and possibly break the door a bit?
You can, at the risk of making a lot of noise.
Ooh, decisions here.
Cornwell or anyone else that can see her can interject if they need to.
He would.
Is he lawful good?
He's lawful good, and he follows his orders to a T. And that's the employer wouldn't want that, so he will intervene. With force, if necessary.
All right, so
not sure how well you know him, but you've got a good rating on his list.
Yes. So in reality, so we gotta figure out how to get into that room ultimately, because if there's a thump and stuff, there's gotta be something in there.
If we are discussing this, he would suggest that we, one, look for a key or make a noise and require that whatever's in there to come out. So, like, he's not afraid to make a noise.
So maybe knock on the door or something?
Yeah.
He would suggest that.
Yeah, let's try to knock. Can I knock on the door then and ask it who's in there?
Sure.
Then let's knock on the door. What would I need to roll for that guy?
You don't really need to roll, but I'd like to hear what you say.
So I want to knock on the door and go, "Hey, hear the noise behind the door? Is there someone there? We're sent to investigate the house."
You hear another thump, and you could swear you heard a whisper. So thump as in like someone might have bumped their leg on a chair, and then you heard like a little whispering. And only you can hear this because you're close enough to the door. You guys could hear the thump, but you could not hear the whispering.
So I'm gonna look over to Cornwell and say, I heard a whisper in that room, and there's multiple thumps.
This place is supposed to be empty.
Can I bash open the door now?
Not this turn, but yes, you can.
That will give him time to think about it.
Yeah.
I think I'll end my turn there.
Okay. So you're like, God. He's like, ugh.
Basically.
He's torn between
justice and curiosity.
Well, justice and like it's still the law that no one should be in here, so perhaps he has to break something to do the law.
Right.
I hate these decisions.
That. Yeah. Okay, Maven.
All right, well, I will finally move in.
And you could see all this warmth and the stench just singes your nose hairs. The scent of the body odor from your friends and the urine and the wet, damp, mildewy smell and some dusty old books and just all these scents kind of assault your senses. You're like, oh my God, it smells kind of old in here. And you do notice the scent of like rotting food. Like just a hint.
I'll wrinkle my nose and try not to breathe through it too much.
Seems like it's coming from the south where Brayley is.
Okay. So I, Maven, will step to the side here. Can I move diagonally?
Yeah, you got at least another 5 or 10 feet.
Yeah, I've got 5. And then I was thinking, am I in front of the door to try and pick the lock or no?
You're close enough. I mean, Shell's right there, but you guys can share the space. I mean, temporarily.
Brayley's right here.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So I'd like you to do if you go to your skills tab, to do sleight of hand and drag and drop that into the dice tower.
Okay.
And that will calculate your bonuses and such. Okay, so you're fiddling around with the door, and you can hear the mechanism like shaking. And after you've kind of put a little force into it, like you're not really breaking, but you're trying to figure out the lock mechanism. You hear the door click, so you're imagining that it might be unlocked, but you haven't actually unlocked it. Cornwell, you hear this, by the way.
He turns around and his eyes narrows. Oi, what are we going on here?
And I give Cornwell just a little wink and then turn back to the door.
So it seems that, from what you could tell, Cornwell, that she may have found a way to shake the door open, like from the lock position. So it may not have been locked all the way, or maybe it wasn't locked to begin with, or maybe it was just stuck. Like it hasn't been used in a while. But whatever it was, you can clearly hear that the door has been unlocked. She hasn't opened it.
To benefit of the doubt, assuming that the door just wasn't checked, he's not going to accuse her of picking that lock or anything at this point, because one, he's over there, and Yep. So he
trying to be a team player.
Yeah, he lets it slide for now.
All right,
but he keeps an eye on Maven.
Okay, Maven. So you've moved. You basically picked the lock, or you've got through the lock. You did a little of that. you weren't here when Braylee said it, but Braylee, you want to let her know what you heard before you guys open the door?
I heard a scurrying around to the south, and I heard a little squeak.
Would I be allowed to just gently push open the door? Maybe not push it open all the way?
Sure. So go ahead and click on the hover your mouse over and open the door. Okay, so you get this wafting smell of rotten food and dust, and the urine smell is really strong here. It stinks really bad. And you do hear multiple squeaks at this moment. As soon as you open that door, you can see like little shadows moving around on the floor, and the activity goes up. So there's something here in this room, and more than one something.
Braylee, I was just gonna say that Braylee covers her nose with the like a cloth. Or
yeah,
something
it stinks in here.
Yeah,
it smells like rotting food and urine and just foul, like old dishes.
Is it noticeably human pee or animal pee?
No, it's whoever rolled early, like Bunkai and whoever examined the smell a little closer would have probably thought it was more vermin or animal of nature.
Yep. Okay. Because they do smell different.
You know the smell of bum pee, so it's not that.
I will whisper, I made it worse, and I think that's my turn. So.
Okay. All right, so as you say that, a bunch of little black shadows start moving around in the room to the south. From what little you could tell, it looked like there was a large table with a bunch of food that's either gone or half rotten or whatever. And this large swarm of vermin comes towards the doorway and starts attacking you and Braylee.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Man, I wish I would have dodged.
All right, so I'm going to see. So since Shell is right, or not Shell, but Braylee is right inside of the doorway, it is basically going to pull through and move through your group because they're just really tiny. So they can actually, move through your space. They're not leaving your threat zone, but they can move through without being.
I know swarms can do that.
Yeah. So they attack, multiple of them. So there's a whole bunch of rats, different sizes, and there's hundreds of them. It's not just a few. So I want to say a lot. Hundreds might be a little big, maybe like 20 of them or something like that. So going to do the first attack, which is just a bunch of them biting you at once. And they were able to penetrate through some of your wrappings and your clothing. So you're getting these multiple nibbles and bites all over your leg. And they are basically just ravenously chewing up on your clothes and stuff because they're starving. So you have these rats like basically engulfing you with bites. And you guys could all hear this squeaking and this commotion coming from the south. It's almost like you've awakened Pandora's box. It's like there's a ton of these things, and they're pouring out of that southern doorway. So, any other comments about that?
Ow.
Uh-huh. You're like, you got these like rats climbing all over you. And Maven, you feel like if you stay there much longer, you might also be attacked. I mean, you're right in the mix there. Okay, Monkey.
no.
You're kind of
Braylee
startled.
wishes she was a light cleric so she would have had a freaking reaction, but she isn't.
Okay, Monkey. So you hear this commotion going on. You might have been kneeling down and kind of examining. The scent coming from the south matches that of behind the statue. So you're imagining that most of that urine smell is these rats.
Okay, gotcha. And Monkey, he just snuck into the building, and then everyone kind of just rushes in and starts like beating on doors and yelling at people. And he's like, "Well, okay, I guess we're not sneaking." And then people are getting swarmed by rats, and he's like, "Oh my goodness!" So he's gonna run up and he's gonna start. Well, I can't really see them on my map here, so I guess I'll just kind of move towards the commotion of the rats, and if I see one, I'm gonna punch it.
There you go. Now they're visible. Sorry about that.
So he's going to try to move up and let's see. And unarmed strike on some rats.
All right. All right. So you're just kind of kicking and swatting and not really finding much purchase. You feel them and they're crawling around, but it's almost like punching into nothing. Like as soon as your fist or your foot moves into this pile of basically kicking them off or around Braylee, but you're not finding any purchase. They're quick. They're not really centered, so you're having a hard time focusing your martial arts movements into there. So you're kind of feeling a little bit hopeless at this point with that approach. So you're wondering if that's the right idea or not. You've never fought a swarm of rats. You've killed a few rats in your day, but nothing like this. This is ridiculous. Actually, if you do kill any, the others start eating the ones that are down. So it's not a pretty sight.
Okay, gotcha. That's not good there. I guess what I'll do, not sure if, and you know what, Monkey, he gets a little angry. He's gonna just try to punch 2 more times. He's gonna do a flurry of blows, and he's just gonna go crazy on these rats here. So right. I'm gonna attack him 2 more times.
Okay. So Monkey does his first strike, notices it doesn't work, and then starts flipping out. Wah!
All right, there's 1.
Okay, so you were able to connect or squish some of these rats, so go ahead and roll the damage.
Alrighty.
Okay. And go ahead and roll your next attack. And again, you're swatting a few of them with your forearms and kind of what's happening is you're kind of like hitting them and they're going up against the wall and they're splatting basically. So you're killing a few of them as you're wading through them. So you feel like, now you've got it figured out. So
nice. I got a few of them, but yeah, they're.
And what they're doing though is they're starting to turn on each other. So, as you hurt them, the other ones start eating the ones that are down. Okay, Braylee.
Braylee's going to use her spell called Word of Radiance, which does radiant damage, 1d6, and so she casts. I don't know if you take your. I'm guessing I take out my holy symbol. Yeah, I take out my holy symbol. I hold it up towards them. It's worn around my neck on a chain.
Okay.
And I am going to use Word of Radiance on them and
Great.
hope it hits. They have to do a con save.
Yeah, you just drag that to them. Okay, so they had failed their save, so go ahead and apply the damage to the mass of swarming rats. So you guys see this energy come down from out of nowhere, and just kind of it starts glowing, and some of the rats kind of fizzle and pop and kind of lay limp after this magical energy. It's kind of amazing, actually, but the smell of the rats from the urine, and then you have those rats that are dying. It's adding to the the smell that's not very pleasant. But very, very good. So you were able to zap a few of them.
Also, Braley points out that these rats seem to be resistant to non-magical means, which is why I cast a spell. So,
you say that the Monkai's efforts are not as effective as you hoped.
It could have been better if he had some kind of a magical thing. I'm going to move away. I know I will get opportunity attacked, but I'm going to try and move away because I'm tired of getting bitten by these rats. So I'm moving 10 feet to my north, and that's it.
So let's see what happens.
Cornwall rolls his eyes and begins to mutter a few choice words under his breath as he steps forward.
Okay, Shell, you didn't get any damage. They tried to bite you.
Okay, good.
Yep.
And okay, that's not going to work. Okay, sorry, I'll go back to the way I normally do it. And he swings with his long sword at the swarm of rats. And he hits. And so, damage.
It's a really interesting target because of just the nature of it. Okay, Ilaria, you hear all this commotion going on while you're at the door to the south.
I'm looking at my character sheet. I'm like, I'm going to be very ineffective.
I mean, it can't be worse than trying to punch rats, so.
Yeah.
Very true.
That's all Monk
I think I'm going to move down 15 to the south and engage in combat as well.
Okay.
I think I did that right, but
no,
I think I need to focus.
Yeah, you need to drag and drop it onto a target and not in a dice tower.
Yeah, okay.
That dice tower is too big.
All right, there you go. So that blade just kind of swats down and connects with a few of these rats, severing them. That was another hit roll. You need to roll the damage now.
Oh.
Yep. So there's an attack roll and then there's a damage roll. Perfect. All right, so seems like your attack was fairly effective. You just kind of reach over to like an overhand swing and probably just chop straight down on this pile of rats, and you sever several of them as you cut through to the wood of the floor.
Out of character, Braley appreciates your +1 longsword.
Yeah, yeah. You're seen to be that blow was pretty effective. You took a lot of them out during that attack.
All right.
And you do have, I believe, if you do have another attack, I believe.
Yeah, that's what
because I think I'm checking to make sure. I don't know what level. If you're at level 5 or 6, you should be able.
No, I'm only over 4.
Okay, you don't have an extra attack yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Or else I would be like, ooh, smite.
Exactly.
I'm going to skip.
Okay, Maven.
Okay, so I heard you say that we have to drag and drop. So if I was going to try and do poison spray, do I drag it onto the rats in the combat tracker?
You can do either or. You can do it on the token on the map or on the combat tracker, whatever's easiest for you.
Oh, okay.
So they both work. The poison spray itself, let's take a look at that. So it is a saving throw, so you have to do that first.
Isn't it also a cone effect as well?
Yeah, I'd have to look at that. So
No,
it's 10
poison
feet.
spray is. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. Go ahead. It's a puff of gas. It comes from your palm. So he's right. You might end up harming Cornwell.
I think maybe an agonizing blast might be a better move, but that's just me.
Yep. So Cornwell will be in your way. That's basically what's the problem.
Okay, so do I have enough movement to go here?
Yeah, you could actually.
Okay.
Because it's close enough. So you just kind of went around the pile and through everyone.
Yeah.
If you were further away, I'd say no.
So then can I still do poison spray from there? Or,
yep.
Okay.
Sure can. But you have to you have to force the saving throw first. So that's the first button. Okay, so they failed. So now you would apply damage. Nice. So effectively, you've eliminated a lot of them with that spray. Almost like you were an exterminator.
Yeah,
rat poison.
Yeah, that was the plan.
That's awesome. You know, for that little how fun and stuff that was, let's I'm going to give you inspiration for that. Normally I don't, but this is a one shot, and I'm really stingy about that. But I think
stingy. He's very stingy.
But I like the way that kind of played out. So I think you did really well. So on your character sheet, on the very top, there is a token, and there's a little dot that says INSP.
Yeah.
If you click that, it'll put a little star on your face there in the up on the upper left. That's a reminder that you can use that. Now, for this session, you can either use that on your next rolls whenever you want. You can also grant it to another person. So if there's a clutch moment and you think we need that inspiration, you can say, okay, I want to inspire so-and-so, and you're going to be like, come on, you want to cheer them on or whatever. And you can effectively say, I want to give them the inspiration, and they would roll with advantage. So that's how that would work.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So you can use that during the gameplay as you see fit. Now, if you don't use it within, if this was for me, if this was a campaign, if you didn't use this in the session, I probably wouldn't let you keep it unless there was some extraneous circumstances. But you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
All right. So you kind of push your way through there, stepping over some of the rats, turn around, and put your palm out, and just kind of this waft of nauseous gas covers the rats temporarily. And you notice a lot of them falling dead to the wayside. There's probably only like maybe 5 or 6 left. So very good. That's why I gave you the inspiration. Normally I don't do that for an attack, but I thought it was pretty clever. All right, so that's good. Good use of what you have is what I'm getting at.
Okay, and I say I really don't like vermin. That's my turn.
Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to roll a d4, and whatever it lands on is going to be who they attack next. So Maven, you're 1, Unkai is 2, Ilari is 3, and Watch Commander Cornwell is 4. I'm just going to drag and drop that into the chat area. So Maven, they're going to retaliate on you. So the remaining rats, come to your direction and try to bite you.
That sounds right.
And they missed. So you were able to sidestep them and kind of avoid them. And maybe, I don't know if you've watched old cartoons, but the cartoon characters would kind of dance on their tippy toes and try to stay away from something like that.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I imagine you're doing, is something like that. Yeah. So you were able to avoid the attack, so nothing happens to you, and the rats are kind of just swarming around your legs. The remainder. It's not really a swarm anymore. So Bunkai, you notice that the numbers are thinner, and that you guys have, as a team, you've been more effective than just individually taking these things out.
Nice. So he figures, well, punching's not working. That sword worked pretty good. So he'll just take out some of his darts, and he's just gonna start just trying to
chuck them.
Yeah. Try to
pin them
pierce
down.
them.
Yeah, pin cushion. All right. All right. So you are able to throw your dart, and it actually pin cushioned one of the rats, and the other ones ran away. So there wasn't enough of them to swarm anymore. So you guys have basically canceled that swarm out.
Yay.
Very good job. Good teamwork, everybody. So that was... And normally I would leave that on the combat truck if it was like a boss or something, but it's just a swarm of rats. So I'm going to remove it. But you guys see that tombstone is an extension that's not part of Fantasy Grounds. So if you guys... That's on the forge or the... If it's,
I have that extension, actually.
Yeah, so if you guys ever wanted to use that, that's what I'm using. So I'll put that in the description of the video after the fact. What up, Tom? Okay, Munkai, anything else? You still have movement, by the way. Can move or...
I guess with everything done, I think Munkai is going to try to move into this main room, just kind of right where the books are, I guess. Let's see if I can make it that far.
Yep. So you can make it. You can move at least 20 feet.
Okay, so I got 20 feet, and he's gonna just take a look at these books here.
Sure.
Just see if there's any, like, if he can find any keys or he sees anything there.
All right. So you look at the shelf, and there's some interesting titles up there. So you're looking through, and it looks like there is a plethora of different books on the shelf. So I'm going to roll on a table. So you pull out a volume called Witch Hunting: The Basics. So I don't know if you can access that or not, but if it's in the chat area, if you want to click on the link and you can read the description, maybe. I don't know if it'll let you. You see the...
Yep.
Yep. So that's one of the books that you find on the shelf. And that would be your turn, basically.
Gotcha. And Munkai, I don't know if this is beknownst to the players. Apparently he's looking for a sacred text. Does he see such sacred text?
Oh, you're looking at the shelf. There are several other titles. You may not know what the name of that text is. So it's going to take a while to go through all these books. But all of them could be a sacred text as far as you know.
Right. Let's see. Well, the witch hunting, that doesn't seem like a sacred text. So he'll put that back in order to not...
So we'll roll on the table on the next round. Like what else you find. That's interesting. Okay. That doesn't look like a school book or something. All right, anything else?
Nope, that's it. I'll push to the next.
All right, Brayley, the rats are dispatched. They seem to have scattered.
I hope you took your smell with you.
Yeah, it still stinks.
Maybe we should close the door. Brayley raises an eyebrow when she hears Munkai say he's looking for a sacred text because she's looking for a sacred text too. Isn't that interesting? She is going to go over to the bookcase and can I do an Arcana check to see if maybe I could recognize?
Sure. So you're looking at titles. You're kind of pulling the books out. Go ahead and roll your Arcana in the... Okay. So out of all the books that you've come across on the bookshelf, there is one title. There's one title that kind of catches your eye. There's actually a couple. There's one called Life After Death, and there's another one that says Necromancy, the Misunderstood Art. And then finally, there's the Evil Book Volume 2 of 3. So those both, all three of those, I've given you pause. So which one of the three do you want?
I would like the one about the life after death.
Okay, so I drag and drop that into the chat, so you should be able to click on that. And that's what the topics and what the book is basically about. The author was
helpful. Yeah, that sounds helpful to a cleric.
Yeah, so the book was written by a Bolton Thirdwobble. I don't know how to say his name. Thirdwobble. So never heard of him. Not someone you're familiar with. But the book seems to be fairly heavy and maybe worth a little bit of gold.
Well, I don't intend to sell it. I'm supposed to be bringing this back to my church, right? I forget what the thing said. I think that's what it said. I'm supposed to be bringing it back to. I'm not.
Can you guys bookmark?
Oh, it says I'm not supposed to read it.
That's
I'm not supposed to read or open.
Well, you just kind of get the idea of what it is.
I just got that's all I did was see the title.
Yeah.
I didn't open the book.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna kind of slyly stick this in my pocket and hope that Cornwell doesn't see.
Pocket or?
In my
backpack. Okay. All right.
Do I need some kind of check for that?
Yeah, I want you to do sleight of hand.
Oh, great. I'm just going to be so good at this.
You go to reach for the book and pull it off the shelf. And just so you know, that's what you rolled, but it was a 1. So you grab for the book. Monkai is kind of going through some of the books. Grab it, you go to put it in your pack, and it falls heavily on the floor. Cornwell has definitely looked your direction and sees you reaching for the book, and it dropped.
I look innocent.
The book fell off the shelf is what it sounds like.
It must be a ghost in here!
So you fumbled. You grabbed for the book, and it dropped.
Darn.
Bump! It's like a big old sound.
Maybe that wasn't the book I needed after all. I'm going to pass my turn.
All right. Watch Commander. You notice that the rats are dispatched. The door to the south is open into like a dining hall. And you heard that book fall off the shelf. And you see Monkai and Brayley thumbing through the volumes.
I'm not thumbing through anything. I'm looking innocent.
Yeah, you like retract your hands. You saw her do that, by the way.
Well, Watch Commander had his head stuck in the door, peering through, examining the best he can without night vision or dark vision or whatever you call it. So he actually wasn't watching the two of them, but the sound has given him cause to turn around, and he sees Brayley attempting to act innocent. May I roll a perception?
Sure.
Like, he's questioning it. So I'll
questioning
do it in the
that
tower.
I'm innocent. I'm a freaking
insight.
Well, insight. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry. Okay. Get insight.
Go ahead and roll in the tower.
Did you hear me say I think it was a ghost?
I did.
All right.
But, like you're trying to lie, deceive.
Yeah,
and all that,
it looks like a fib. You actually, the body language and her facial expression kind of give it away. Yeah. So that's.
I must be a bad liar.
Yeah, you're like, oh, oops. Like, so you know it's BS.
Yeah.
Now, how you react to that is on you, but.
I blush.
Did I not say, I'm getting a bit angry now, did I not say the employer has explicitly requested that nothing be removed or tampered with, touched within this establishment? And he just, at this point, he looks at you. That is warning number 1. And take note, everybody, if anybody does this kind of thing, your actions will not be tolerated. Okay, that's my turn.
All right.
Rayleigh says, I must have misheard you. I think it's the accent.
You're right.
Right.
Up yours, basically.
Yeah. Okay, Ilaria. So you hear this like little exchange.
Somehow none of this surprises me.
Raymond, can you turn on that fan?
That door? I want to see if we can break
this.
open.
Okay. Cat's out of the bag, I guess, huh?
Yep, might as well.
All that.
So, yeah, I want to break down this door now.
All right. So I'd like you to make a strength check in the open. You don't have to secretly roll. Or you can do an athletics check.
Ooh,
or
yes,
if you have a crowbar in your inventory, you can use that for advantage.
Ooh. Let me check.
So on your actions tab, if you have a crowbar, but you don't.
Yeah, I'm going to make an athletic.
All right. So you pull and pull as hard as you can, and eventually you yank yourself to a point where you snap the door handle off. It breaks the door handle, but not the door itself. And you actually go backwards. So I'd like you to move back 10 feet. And I'd like you to roll a dexterity save.
Oh, boy.
So on your front sheet, by your dexterity, your saves are to the right. Just double click on it. All right, perfect. So you almost cartwheel back, and you stand there as if you meant to do that. You're like, I was just doing that in case someone comes out.
What's my rating, guys?
So you broke one of the door handles off. You did not open the door. You did feel it flex, though. And you heard some more whispering going on as you were fiddling with the door.
So they just permanently locked in there now if I broke off the door?
Well, there's another handle. You just broke off one of them. Starting to think it might have been barred from the inside, because with that amount of force that you put on it, that should have, snapped the center, but it didn't. So,
yeah,
wondering if there's a bar or something.
Can I go back to the door? Do I have enough movement after that?
Yeah, you can.
All right, I want to knock on the door again real quick, and I want to tell them, hey, we just killed a bunch of rats in here. We know someone's behind the door. Can you guys come out?
You hear a woman's voice. Who is out there?
We were sent from the king himself to come investigate things.
So you hear this whispering, and that's basically the end of it.
And we have the watch commander Cornwell with us as well for verification.
Okay. You just hear whispering. You're not sure what they're saying, but there's some talking going on, and more than one. So now you know there's at least two.
Can I go yell at Cornwell and say, hey, there's people over here. You want to help me out?
Yep.
He nods, but he's unhappy at the broken door.
Okay, Laurie.
As he should. I will end my turn there.
Yep. Okay, Maven.
Okay, so Maven would like to go into the dining room and then just look around and see if there's anything in there.
So you see a bunch of serving platters and plates. Looks like there's some rotten food, that was sitting there, or at least the stains of rotten food. Looks like the rats got most of it. that may be the source of where the stench from the food comes from. Obviously, you smell the urine, and it just kind of has that kitchen smell to it, like a dining hall. There was probably crumbs all over the floor. I'm pretty sure the rats got those. So it's been picked clean as far as rot food and such. The plates and the silver are pretty good condition, dusty but still in good shape, and they would probably be worth some money if someone were to polish them up and stack them nicely and sell them as a set, maybe. But as far as anything of value or anything important here, not so much. But there is a bookshelf on the very western wall, facing west, and then you see a doorway to your immediate east, and then to the south is a barred window with curtains over. That cutout is a window.
Yeah. I guess I was going to go look at the doorway, but I'm going to go check the bookshelf.
All right. So you have a little bit more movement. You can move another 10 feet. Actually, you don't want to walk. You don't want to walk over the tables, so...
No, I don't.
I canceled the movement. So Trace, yeah. All right, so you don't quite reach the shelf until the next turn, maybe.
Okay, that's it.
All right. Okay, Munkai.
Munkai, he's really wants to see if he can find this sacred text. So he'd like to take another look at the bookshelf, just see if he can determine if any of these are match what he's looking for.
All right. So some of the titles that I had told Shell were the Necromancy, Life After Death. You saw, or Brayley, and then the Evil Book, Volume 2 of 3.
Well, Munkai's not really an evil person, so I suppose none of these are any of the books that he's looking for. So he's going to move on. And if that's all right, I'd like to see if I can investigate the far portion of this rag. It looks like I see like a couple tables or something. Like maybe, perhaps there's some sort of key or something of that sort over in the far point of this room.
Yep.
So maybe over here. I don't know if that's a table or in the south, whichever kind of looks more like where it would house a key.
All right. Well, to the east, here there's some shelves and there's a thing by the fireplace. So.
Okay, so I'll just move over to the east.
So you look around. You happen to look through that cupboard there. There's a bunch of plates and cups. Looks like somewhere where they would have stored things for like snacks and pencils and a junk drawer type thing. But that's pretty empty. There's been emptied out. Matter of fact, it looks like someone had recently pillaged through there because there's a drawer that's left open. So somebody was accessing this drawer at one point, and inside you notice that there was a spot for a key.
Okay. Munkai will just kind of relay that to the group and say, "Hey,
there's a little safe box
here, but there's no longer a key here, so I doubt that we're going to be able to access this room where we know there are intruders. So I'm going to try to convince Watch Commander to allow us to break down this door, basically saying, trying to use law that they are illegal and they're trespassers and they must be stopped."
So she concedes, so you don't have to roll persuasion.
Yeah, his shoulders drop and he concedes. But yeah, that's logical.
Right. Yep. The box that you saw had the impression of a key. That's how you knew it was missing. There's like a little box and there's like a clay inlay, and it looked like the key could fit there, and there's no key. Pretty good sized key too.
Just for our investigation purposes, I'm not trying to steal this. I might keep the key
Or
and
the box.
Yeah, for like if we need to get a new key made or something.
All right.
To locksmith.
Good idea. Okay. I like it. It's good thinking. It's not like you have wax and you can make your own impression right now, so. Anything else?
I'll add that to my backpack.
Okay. I'll just say it's there. We're not going to have
Okay.
to keep track of it.
And that was your explanation, then Commander would allow that.
Yep.
But he will probably make a note of it in a little notebook.
Yep. Key box.
Book. One removed, one key box.
Dropped one book.
Yeah.
Okay.
One handle broken.
Okay, Bunkai.
Ilaria.
All done?
Accurate.
Yes, that was my turn. Let me move on.
So what I want to do right now, it's been about almost 2 hours. So let's take a break. Let's come back here at the top of the hour. So whatever your hour is. So take a break.
Okay, so yeah.
Use a restroom.
An o'clock.
Yep.
Okay.
An o'clock.
Thanks. All right.
So let's take a break. Go to the restroom.
Sounds good.
Oh, that sort of thing. So
anyone 2 hours? Holy hell.
Almost. So let's take a break and hopefully you'll come right back.
And you can set yourself to AFK by right-clicking on your portrait and clicking on the hand sign. And then when you return, do the same thing in reverse, and it will un-AFK you.
Yep. Good point.
Oh, it's nifty.
Yeah, that's how you can tell if you're not on the table. Unfortunately, the GM has to type it for himself. All right, folks, we're back. We just took a little break there. We're going to start off with Braley.
Okay, now I was AFK when Ilaria was looking in that room, and I thought I heard someone say something. There's people here, but the door is not open, right?
Correct.
Is it locked?
They broke the handle.
Okay, so it's broken handle, and then the door by Munkai is also locked? Or we don't know?
There's no door there.
I thought there was a door there. Oh, he was looking at the bookcase.
Yeah,
That's
he's looking at the bookcase, and there's like a little cupboard, and you found a key, or the impression of a key.
Yeah, Munkai was looking for a key, and he found a box that seemed like there was a key there, and it has been removed. So he convinced Watch Commander to break down the door over there.
Okay.
He's also lawful, so he kind of appealed to law there and to help Watch Commander.
That's good because that makes it a little bit less stressful for him. But he's already on the verge of like, I'm just going to search everybody for the leave.
Oh, but I'm innocent. Remember?
You're getting stern looks.
Yeah, probably. And straight in front of me, the only door in this room that I'm in is the one to the left of Ilaria, right?
Yeah.
With the broken handle. Well, I'm not strong enough to try and open the door.
Are you going to keep looking at the books, or are you going to go explore?
No, I am not going to look at the books. I don't like getting reprimanded. I'm going to go up 15 feet to the other side of the room, and maybe I'll do an investigation up here and see if I can see where maybe someone dropped the key or something.
All right.
But I am looking for the key, so this is a bad idea because I have an intelligence with modifier of 0, so it's probably not going to do much.
Right. So you dig around in the area, and you notice there's a little wood pile there. There's a pretty good-sized rat nest in there. And the smell of urine is pretty strong near this hearth because of the warmth. So essentially, you're searching around in a rat's nest.
A
stinky rat's nest.
Do rats steal keys? That's the question.
They could.
Well, I guess they could. Nesting.
Well, I'm not going to take any chances, and I'm going to dodge.
Okay.
Good choice.
Because I see what happened last time I didn't dodge. Okay. Passing my turn.
Okay, well, Watch Commander joins Ilaria by their side and will attempt to shoulder charge the door with his athletics strength check.
Okay.
I'm thinking of a...
All right, so you kind of back up a little and you just kind of bash in the rest of the door. The door is now forced open. I think the combination of both of you wailing on it broke it.
Uh-huh.
So now you can see inside. It's pretty dark. Not much light in there.
I don't have dark vision.
You notice the top of Laria. You notice the tops of two people's heads ducked behind that table. There's a round, like, gaming table. It looks like an old poker table or card table of some sort. Kind of gaming table. There's some polyhedron dice on the table, and some books. And then you see like the tops of some humanoid heads kind of poking down, kneeled behind the chairs and such.
And that was his turn anyway, I think.
All right. So, Brain is one of the NPCs and says, "Who is it?" It's a guy's voice. "Who is it? Who's there?"
Commander would probably respond the quickest. It is I, Watch Commander Corn. Will identify yourself.
I am Prain. He comes out, and you've heard of him before.
Mm-hmm.
You know that he's a citizen of the town. Never talked to him directly, but you know of him.
Prain.
He doesn't belong here.
What are you doing in here? Locked in the room behind the door.
Hey, well, the plague happened. We had to go somewhere, so I ended up here. The town has been abandoned. It's like, he's like kind of mumbling around with his words.
Yep.
With the plague and all, we thought it would be safe to be here. Our homes were burnt down because of the plague. So I came here with.
You go in a place with rats all over when there's a plague.
He regards you discerningly, but he has no reason at this point to believe that you're lying. Although he looks at the woman.
Safe. That's what they call me.
Yes. And is that your reasonable? Is that your reason for here? The same as?
Yes, I came with him. I convinced him to come here. There's something really odd about this place. It's getting worse by the day. We've only been here a couple days, and we've locked ourselves in this room because we don't trust the rest of the house. There's vermin and rats all over this place. There's strange noises coming from upstairs. There's been some strange shadows that we can't tell what they are. And these rats, he's like, looking around, paranoid, like she's scared. And she basically admits that she's here with Prain, and she convinced him to come to the house so that they had shelter. Because both of their homes they're not together as a couple, they're just townsfolk. And they both kind of wanted to come here because it was one of the few standing places in the town that wasn't burnt or crucified, basically.
So how long have you been here?
Couple days.
What have you been living on?
That's just the thing. We're starving.
Okay.
We have shelter, but we don't have food. We tried to investigate, but the door was locked. And when we tried to go upstairs, we heard some noises up there. We thought maybe someone was here. But Prain here, tell him what you saw. Prain is like shaking in his boots. He says, "There's something up there. It's scary. Looks like a black shadow.
Upstairs, you say?
I saw it at the top of the stairs, staring at me."
Oh. He looks at Alaria to see if she's buying it.
Yeah, it seems accurate. Depending, I don't think both of these guys are fighters, let alone wanting to stir trouble.
Okay. He relaxes a little bit, not his godly demeanor.
So Prain says that Safe invited them to try their luck at the mansion and look for help and refuge. So that's their story so far.
Okay. Fine.
And Munkai, he asks them if they are aware of what happened to the missing key, and he shows them the box.
I'm sorry, who's speaking?
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot Munkai was really far away. He brings the box up to show the watch commander, and
Okay.
praying.
So we're out of combat, so it's okay if you guys are kind of wanting to move around. But if
Okay,
you
he
want
moves
to
out
go
of the way just
upstairs
a
or
bit.
explore,
Yep.
beyond this area, then we have to go back to.
He just moves out of the way to allow people in, out, whatever. and
Okay.
Just sort of regarding the room.
So Monkai,
still.
want to move closer?
So I was actually about to ask you, in my attempt to try to learn this system, I accidentally closed out the map on my end. I don't
Okay.
know how to
On your
bring that back
character
up.
sheet, double click on the right hand side where your token is. It'll bring the map back up.
Ah, okay.
Or you
thank
can do that in the combat tracker too. You can double click on your token, and it should bring the map back up.
All right, and Monkai, I think it'd probably be safe that he'd probably move his way into the room to talk with them.
Okay. Hello, I'm Prain, and this is. She goes, I can speak for myself, Prain. I'm Saith. Saith seems a lot more together, like she's, I don't know, more confident.
Given that they're more confident, can I discern, like just taking a look at them, can I see if they're armed or if they're trying to, if their posture is back or preparing
Check out
for
insight.
anything?
They look genuinely freaked out and scared. They look like they might have a dagger or like a little club or something, but nothing too martial. They do look like fairly organized or fairly regular townsfolk.
Okay, and did they mention anything about the missing key? Could I or Monkai asked them if they could return the key, please?
So Saith, she moves towards you, and underneath her shirt and around her neck is a little leather cord. She pulls it off her head and hands it to you. It's a big brass key.
Nice. Monkai, he'll deliver that to the watch commander and ask him if they had any other valuables from the room, and he's gonna say we should probably escort these individuals outside of the building.
Where are we gonna stay?
To the rain. Perhaps we could let them stay for now until we're ready to leave, and then we'll escort them back.
We'll stay here. We're not going anywhere.
However, there are other hostiles in here, clearly, so...
Yeah. We'll know that you stay at your own risk.
Yeah, well, I think we'd rather stay here in this room and try to leave.
Isn't the door broken now?
They're going to put the table up against the door.
Oh, okay.
They're going to bar themselves in again, is basically what they're implying.
Mm-hmm. Fine.
Barricaded in.
You will have to leave, though, when we leave.
Oh, fine, Saith says, but what are we going to do? I mean, yeah, we can leave. That's not a problem. We never intended to be, trespassers, but there's nowhere for us to go.
We'll sort that out later.
Like we said, though, it is rather dangerous here. We feel like, maybe if you are able to determine what's going on and what's happening to this place, maybe we can help.
Definitely intend to, yes.
What do you guys know about the mansion so far? How much have you guys explored?
We've only been down here on this floor. We don't know what's to the south. We've only been in this area. They're talking about the areas that you guys have explored, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been to the rest of the house because of the sightings and rats and just the general danger and the uncertainty. So they've kind of kept themselves locked up in here just for shelter.
Have you guys only seen that shadow on top of the stairs, or has it appeared elsewhere?
We only heard noises upstairs, and Praying, when he was out looking around for food, he saw that shadow on the top of the staircase. It looked like a dark, ominous shadow from what he's saying, and he's like nodding, like, yeah. And I didn't see it. I think he's pulling my leg, but nonetheless, he said he saw it, so I have to agree with him. There's probably saw something. I think it was just his imagination, because I'm even starting to see things, and I don't even think it's normal to be in this house. I think something's wrong with this place. And normally I don't exaggerate like this, so something's definitely different here.
What do you think you've seen recently?
Well, I keep seeing those rats out of the corner of my eye. And that's what's really bothering me at the moment. So you're healing, Shell?
Yeah, I don't feel safe with the less hit points.
You had more rats.
I'm
It's like,
just,
yep.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
just an elf. Elf
All right.
didn't have very
Well,
much
make sure
hit
you
points.
check off your
I did.
spell slots. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So it looks like I want to check out Maven real quick. So Maven, you're down, kind of exploring. You hear the doors to the north being broken. You hear a commotion and some dialogue going on. So you can go ahead and move to the shelf.
Yeah, I wanted to check. I hear the door, so that has me concerned, but I don't know what they're doing. So
Yeah.
I was hoping to move to the shelf, check it out real quick, and then I
Sure.
would head back to my party to make sure they're okay.
All right. So go ahead and move to the shelf, and let's take a look at what you find on there. Find a title called Horror in the Monastery.
Well, that doesn't sound super interesting to me, particularly. So, I would rush back, and so could I use my dash action to use extra movement?
Yep.
Okay.
So you can move about 50 feet back.
I think so. If I go around 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, where I have it would actually be 45 instead of 35.
Yeah, just remember you can't move through walls. So
track it around. It doesn't. I tried to track it around. It doesn't do that. I have to do each space individually.
Huh. Well, you should be able to drag it, and then from that point, you can drag it again. So once you have a marker, you can drag it from that.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you just have to keep going and let it go. I see.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyways, so you're up there, and you did you take the book or you just leave it?
I left it. I wasn't super interested.
Okay.
And I see that everybody's just chatting.
Yeah. So you notice two new people there, a man and a woman. Probably the woman looks middle-aged. The man looks like he's probably like 30. Maybe. They both look scared and tired and dehydrated, and they're talking to Munkai. And supposedly he gave them. He didn't know. Maybe you overheard it.
Is there a way to tell if I have any rations?
Yeah, so if on your character sheet, if you look at your inventory and you look down the list there's something in there that should say rations. It's probably in your backpack, if you do have any.
Yeah, I have 10.
So even if you don't, someone else might have it.
I don't have any.
On your actions tab, there should be a section called consumable items, and it would have rations and
yeah, she doesn't.
in there.
She doesn't.
Oh, okay.
So you were going to offer food, and you realize you didn't bring any with.
So I just say, does anyone have any food to give them? And then, yep. Since I moved up there, I guess that's about it for me.
Yep. Commander says yes. He will pass off 2. So I'll remove 2 from my thing. I now have 8.
All right. So they ravenously, like just like the rats, they just grab the food and start shoving it in their faces, and like they haven't eaten in a while. So, and they're not talking. So, got that established. They seem to be content, and they're kind of like nodding, like yeah, like they're happy, they're approving. They're happy.
What are those packs called that the army people have that are dried food?
Ration.
Like K rations?
MR.
Oh, MREs or MRIs? Or...
MRE, that's it. Yeah, that's what that was. Although, yeah, you need water for that, so maybe it won't.
I would also let everybody know that I found another door in the dining room. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, quick group confer. Do we continue? He's just taken over leadership. Sorry, but yeah, if you want to continue clearing out the bottom, I suggest we make sure it's safe, secure down here before proceeding upstairs, or do we want to go straight upstairs? Group decide.
I think that's a good idea to clear out the bottom before we go upstairs, because otherwise we could go upstairs and have something follow us from downstairs.
Plus, we have civilians.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Before they leave this room, could I just do a quick glance around the room, just make sure there's nothing nefarious?
Sure. To roll a perception. It's kind of hard to see in here. There's no light.
Who has dark vision in our group?
I do.
You do? Okay.
A couple of
so
you
we
do.
Have 2.
You have 3 people that have it.
We know who to send into dark rooms. Does anyone have a light spell?
Brayley has a light spell. She is going to go over to the door, and she is well, wait a minute. Stop.
I mean, I have a torch that I could carry.
Yep.
Yeah, I only do that as a last resort just because I have to drop it to fight.
Yeah. I am going to cast light on the table.
Okay. What's that? While I'm doing that, continue your plans about the exploration and what.
Do you guys want to explore the kitchen first, then fully, and see what lies behind?
Yeah.
And take it room by room.
Yes.
Did Maven mention the people that she heard? Or
I didn't hear any people that I. Oh wait, did I?
No.
No, I didn't hear.
You just saw a bookshelf.
I just found the door.
That was me originally who heard people.
We will do that.
Gotcha.
Yes.
That's why the was broken.
That just got darker.
That's weird.
That might be. No?
All the lights went out.
Sec.
I was casting light where that 10-foot thing is.
Ah, the light. That's because it was darkness. That's better.
I don't have darkness.
No, I accidentally drug over the wrong thing. DM mistake. There, can you guys see now?
Been able to see, right? Doesn't she have where she can see through the dark? Or
I don't know.
Does that have to cast? Well, she's a tiefling, isn't she?
I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, I guess. Metagaming here. Little.
I'm looking at the token. It looks like a tiefling.
Right. It is a tiefling field cup party.
So, is the
all
candle?
I see is dark vision. I don't have anything else that I.
You guys see the? You guys see the light?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess.
From in the room. It's only going to be in that room. So with light on the subject, it looks like a gaming room. There's another shelf at the end of the room, bookshelf. Whoever owned this place was really into books.
Books and games.
Yeah, and there's a gaming table.
Looks for the
D&D
player's
table.
handbook.
Yeah, you got the player's handbook here, and you got some dice.
Mm-hmm.
And some poker chips. Probably using them as counters.
They with the tokens. I don't know. Okay.
And you see little replicas of yourselves on a little map on the table.
Wait a minute. Do they have us on their board?
Yeah.
That does not make me feel good.
No,
was that not a joke?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. There's little representations of you guys' tokens on the table.
For real.
For
Taking
Rizzles.
my token and going.
Creepy.
Okay, that just got scary.
And there's dice, polyhedron dice, and books and stuff.
Somebody's messing with us.
One of the tokens looks like it's knocked over. Probably from someone bumped.
Is it the one that I tried to take? I was trying to take my token. I don't want nobody seeing where I am.
Yeah, but it just fell for a second. Not like it did anything, but it kind of gave you a spook. What the?
Kind of like the book that fell.
Yeah. It doesn't move, though, on its own. You actually bumped
the commander has replaced back on the shelf. He did a bit of tidying while you were all doing this thing.
Watch commander is like, okay. Okay, so I'm going to advance the turns. Okay, so we are now at the top of the 6th round, and Bunkai is first.
I suppose we'll go with the plan. I'll take however much movement towards the, and I guess I'll dash towards the kitchen.
Okay.
Let's see, 5,
I
10,
moved out of the way.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I'm not sure if that's
Nope.
accurate. Is that a little bit too far?
Well, what's going on, guys, is you have to trace your path. You can't just cut through walls. So.
Oh, okay. So I got to kind of like.
Yeah,
drag,
you need to
drop, drag.
Correct.
Drop.
Correct.
Okay,
and that's just something you learn as you play. So, because I can't move you through walls because it blocks you. And if you keep tracing your path through there, I have to cancel it and have you redo it. So just drag your token in a certain way. So from that waypoint, there you go. Yep. You guys understand that, by the way?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that brings you on top of the table, basically.
Whoops. There we go.
Nope, that brings you 60 feet yonder. Try it again.
Okay.
No, you just... Okay, do it again. It's something you have to learn as players. So, I want you guys to do it right. So, or closer to right. Okay, yours 20.
Yeah, that's one thing. Since I'm masked on everything, I can't really see where the door is. That makes it a little bit more difficult.
There you go. That's 35.
All right. And how much movement do I have?
Left or right? You can go either way.
I'll go right. How
and
much
what?
More feet?
5.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's where I will go.
So what happens here is when you don't have enough light to move, it actually slows you down. And that's realistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the whole idea behind having line of sight is not only are you not able to see through walls and stuff, but it hinders your movement if you don't have light. So it slows you down because you have to be careful. So that's exactly what you're experiencing now. It's the reality of light and dark. So anyways, there you are. So you're in this kitchen dining area. You see a set of doors to you, or you feel a set of doors.
Yeah, I'm going to end my turn. Well, actually, I'm going to... No, because I used my action to move more, so that'll be my turn.
Oh, you can interact with the door.
Oh, okay.
If you want. Or you can, interact. You can pull a weapon out. You could, you get a free action, basically. And then don't rule out your bonus action if you have an item that has a letter B next to it in your combat tracker area, or not the combat tracker, but the party or the order tab. Excuse me, actions tab. Then that is a bonus action, so that can be done in addition sometimes to whatever's going on.
Okay. In that case, I will choose the... I don't really have many bonus actions.
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, unless it's warranted, you don't have to worry about it. If you want to try the door, you can.
Yeah, I'll just see if it's locked.
All right, so go ahead and click on it. Just mouse over. Should see a symbol.
Okay, I just clicked it. I don't know if it's...
All right.
I don't want to click it multiple times.
Yeah. So is it open? Looks like it.
When I hover over it, it does say open. So I'll just kind of get to the doorway.
Okay. Kind of peer inside. Kind of hard to make out what it is, but it appears to be more of a scent of rotting food. So you're imagining it's the kitchen.
Okay, yeah, I'll stop right there just because I cannot see anything. So that'll be my turn.
All right. So Brayley.
Okay, I'm gonna head down into the room, and stupid tables like blocking all the places where you can move. So I'm gonna push the table to the south so that we have maybe 2 squares worth of
all right.
space,
Well,
or 1.5.
You need to make a athletics check.
Yeah.
To move that heavy table.
Crappy strength check. Athletics. I have terrible. Yeah, I have terrible strength. Somebody gave me.
No. Matter of fact, you try to push it and you end up almost injuring yourself. And you slide up and across the table with your hands. You push on it, and then you slip and it kind of like you go forward. So you're laying on the table basically.
Great, with all the stinky.
And you got to move too, by the way.
I did move 15 feet.
Okay, I didn't improve it, but you went through the... Oh, no. Okay, got it. I got to turn off. See, I have on the... if you guys are running any games, I have on the option to see what you guys see. I don't see the whole map either, so I need to turn that off so I can see the door and stuff. Okay.
Okay, as I reach this place, I can see in the room, but I know Monkai cannot see. So I will cast another light spell on whatever this object is over here. Can I get a description of the room?
Sure. So since you're able to see, right?
Yeah, I'm dark vision. I can see that.
That's a shelf.
Okay, I'm going to cast it on the shelf then.
Okay. So I'm going to steal the light from the other room.
Those guys can be in the dark.
Well, actually, I'll just make another one. Actually, does that cancel the other? No, we found out that it accumulates. You can have more than one light. I don't think you can have more than 2, though. There's some kind of rule about it, but let's make another one. This time, a light spell. There you go.
Okay, as I look in this room, it seems like I see another pile of rats down there.
Yep.
So we need to be careful. There's some more
you can hear
rats
squeak,
in this room.
squeak, squeak.
Right. Just like the other clump of rats that we were fighting before. So.
Yep. Braley says, "Rats."
Yeah, they already chomped on me. So anyway, pass my turn.
All right.
Okay.
Watch Commander.
He heads off towards the room.
She's got a tobacco
one square
pipe
down because you said I'm on the table.
Yeah. Yep.
That gives someone a chance to walk in the room.
There you go.
I got out of the way. Wasn't I nice?
Much more considerate than Monkai.
Yeah, that's where
He's right in the way.
Right in the way and couldn't even see anything.
Did you want this table moved?
You gonna move it with me on it?
Oh, you're on it now. Okay, yeah, that's so you are. Okay, we'll just leave it because he'd be more wanting to straighten it than move it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that would take an action too.
Yes. Then he's going to, instead of an action, just continue all the way to next to here. That's his fullness.
Full Monty, huh?
Yeah, full action, movement, all that. Although he wasn't running. But...
So you could hear the rats singing in harmony. There's a bunch of bones and like cartilage stuff that they're chewing on. It really stinks foul, more so than the rest of the house. You imagine or suspect there's more rotting food in this chamber. This probably was where your friends were looking for. If they would have eaten this stuff, it would have made them pretty sick.
Did you say they're singing?
I said that metaphorically, like they're squeaking.
Because I was going to say they need to make a performance check.
Yeah, no doubt. They're singing in harmony because there's a bunch of them.
Okay.
It's a nasty nest of them that are in there. So I'm going to
the only door, right?
Yeah, that you can see right away. Okay. You do see a pantry-like doorway to the north.
Okay.
Let's see. So the rats move towards you guys to Bunkai and Watch Commander.
He does a matrix flex and says, "Bring it on." Not really.
So, they can get to either of you from here. I'm going to roll a 4-sided. 1 to 2, it's Monkai. 3 to 4, it's Commander. Cornwheel it is. They're bringing it on like you asked.
Yep.
And they are able to effectively gnaw and chew between your armor. Yeah, they found little. Yeah, they're
sharp
pretty
little teeth.
And they're swarming around you like in a movie. Like you see them clawing.
Yeah.
Swooshing.
A little bit too cocky, I guess.
Yes.
Been there, done that.
And you take just a little minimal amount of damage, but it does hurt. You're like, these little vermin.
He swears.
Yeah.
Softly.
Damn it.
Softly, because there's ladies present.
Yeah. Saith is not there, so I just took her off I took the NPCs off the combat tracker so it doesn't slow us down. That might be something if you're a GM or a player to note that, if it's not an important NPC and they're not fighting with you or they're not traveling with you, just take them off. Ilaria, you hear a little commotion to the south. You notice that the 2 townsfolk are starting to bar themselves into this room. The room that you guys left with Maven. You hear them moving the furniture around.
Some soft cuss words.
I'm going to go into the kitchen because there's also combat going in. Right there.
Okay. Actually, you went through the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, you can't end your turn in someone else's square. So if you're, well, you can, but you're not supposed to. So move anywhere that's not occupied.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like right there. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and there's this one door. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, base guy in one turn because can't go past Mung right now.
Yeah. And you notice that Watch Commander is getting swarmed.
Yeah.
You can attack the swarm, technically, because you are close enough. The ones that are attacking Commander Cornwall. So you could essentially make an attack. The only problem is that you're also attacking him, so to speak. You have to be careful what you're doing. So if you do attack, and it's attacking him, basically, you're going to be at disadvantage. If it's some sort of melee thing.
Don't roll a 1.
And don't roll a 1.
Yeah, don't roll one. Okay.
So if you're going to make an
attack roll against the swarm.
Okay. So click on disadvantage, the DIS button, before you roll.
Yep.
And even with disadvantage, you're able to swat some of these things off of him.
Damn.
Beautiful.
So go ahead and roll damage. Very good.
The longsword saves the day again.
Wow. Okay. So, you've chopped a few of them in half, swatting at him and kind of going off of his, you're basically taking him right off his armor.
I got a question.
Yeah?
If the swarm of rats why are they partially resisting a magic longsword?
Because the nature of them has anything to do with magic. It's the fact that they're immune to a lot of different things.
Yeah, I know.
Or resistant. So it has nothing to do with the magic.
Okay.
I think the magic's just the +1, isn't it?
But it's the fact that the nature of them is what makes them partially resist. Because it's hard to, unless you do a fireball or something on them, it's hard to target them. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else, Ilaria?
No. End my turn.
All right. Maven. So you hear the townsfolk, kind of bickering between themselves. And she's saying, "Get over and help me, Prain. We got to bar this doorway."
I'm just going to say, if you hear the shave and a haircut, knock, let us back in. And then I'm going to run down to try and help. So that's 5, 10, 20. I'm going to stop there and see if I can see anything because I don't know.
You see Brayley sprawled out over the table. These
So
rats climbing over.
Yeah. Do I have enough movement to get in there with them?
No.
Okay. So I will just say the exterminator is here. And if I see any rats that I can get to without hurting my companions, I will pull the poison spray.
Yeah.
Cornwall.
Unfortunately, you don't have that. You don't have the access directly to the main swarm. Too much going on in the way. You need a clear square.
I hold it in case I see them?
Okay, so you can just declare it, and you'll say you'll attack them if they attack you, basically. So you would just type the ready, or on your character sheet, click on ready spell.
I don't
There's a button.
That.
So if you go to the top where it says actions on your actions tab, underneath spell slots, there's a thing called readied spell.
Okay, I will find it.
It's an action section. Dodge, help, hide, ready. See that?
There's a little man to the right on the little button. If you click on that button, it will put the ready action.
There you go. It's concentration, so if you are attacked and take damage, your readied spell will be no good.
Okay.
And it'll expire, so if it doesn't happen between now and then, it'll just fall off. The ready action. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So go ahead and move your turn if you're done. All right, Monkai.
All right. Monkai really hates these rats. I'm assuming since the rats can move through our space, we probably... Monkai's going to try to stomp on the rats and move onto the opposite side of them.
That's fine. I'll allow that. Yep.
So
you're
I'm
not moving
go run
very
and
far.
Attack. So I'm going to move
forward.
I'll move first, but then I'll run the attack.
Okay. Very good.
And let me go for.
Would he get a flanking bonus or anything there?
I'm not going to use flanking, but he would probably. But being that these are rats, you don't really flank rats.
That's right. They're
there's just too many. If it was one,
things.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right. There's my attack.
All right. So erratically, you try to kick and punch and do your thing, but it doesn't connect really. So you're kind of, I guess, coming off of that movement. Not really. The rats kind of part as you go through, and it's kind of hard to stomp on them and such. So you don't.
Well, at least I made room for everyone else.
Yep.
Yes.
True.
And since I would now. Sorry, Monkai, go ahead.
I was just saying that would end my turn, but I'll let you do whatever you were doing, Maven.
So if you're in range, Maven, you can effectively use your poison spray.
I believe so. It's 10 feet, I think, for poison spray. So.
Yep. You got plenty of range. So remember, you do the save, and then if they fail, you apply the effect.
Oops, sorry. I had to drag it on them. Sorry.
Yep. They failed. What do you know?
Okay, so then I drag it onto them.
Nice. The Exterminator is here.
The Exterminator.
You did the exact same damage as last time.
That's crazy.
Wow. So that puff of smoke is way more effective than stomping on them and hitting them. Wow, that's awesome. That's what's nice about being higher level, too.
Monkai just finishes stomping, and he sees so many of them dead, and he just kind of turns around and then notices that Maven had sprayed all that poison. And just kind of hangs his head a little bit.
It's like, what? Really? Okay. Hey, Brayley.
Brayley's going to hop off the table into this square here.
Yep.
And I am going to use my Toll the Dead. So you see me take out my holy symbol, and as I cast the spell, you hear this loud bong! But they succeeded.
Darn
it. Yeah, that would have been a good one because they would have got 1d12. So I am not in melee range of them, correct?
Correct.
I am just okay. So I should be okay just staying here. But I can't dodge because I did a spell. Okay, that's all. Yeah, I'm not gonna use my spiritual weapon. Turn complete.
All right. Watch Commander.
He just steps in through the door so that he's there, and swipes with his longsword.
You got to go around.
Oh, I can't go through there.
No. You got to go where the door is. More.
Oh, I thought there was a door to his thing. Okay, so then we'll do that then.
Yep. Sorry.
Can't believe those rats are so wise.
No, they're...
And I missed.
Yeah, I think your movement... You rolled a 1, so you actually dropped your blade. The rest of your turn, you have to retrieve your weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you try to do anything else, like a bonus action, it would be at disadvantage.
Yeah.
You just kind of swatted at him as you went through the door, dropped your blade.
Yeah.
It's not out of your reach. It's just you can't do anything else but get that or go it and do something else.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to roll again. So I'll do a 6-sided. So 1 to 2, they come after Rayleigh. 3 to 4, they attack.
You said I wasn't within melee range.
They can move in melee range.
Okay.
And of course, they do.
Oh no!
But Monkai, you get a opportunity attack, and so do you.
Awesome.
No, actually, you don't. You're right. They're still within your range.
Yeah, they're still within.
So it's
5.
Monkai. So you get a free attack on them, Monkai.
Oh, I do. Okay, sorry.
And,
I thought you said that and moved out.
So you want to do an opportunity attack. So what is it? You hold shift or control? I don't remember.
You could also pick it from the menu at the
So
top.
there's a modifiers.
Modifier. It's a plus minus up at the top.
See that?
The little buttons. Over the characters.
Yeah, it's in the...
Okay, I see.
And then click opportunity and then do your attack.
Okay. All right, I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to say he pulls out one of his darts and whips his dart over at one of the rats.
All right. Nice. So you just go, and you pin a couple of them to the floor.
Nice.
Nice. So you got a couple hits off of that. You, like I said, you pierced a few of them to the floor where they can't move and they're like twitching. And they got blood kind of oozing out of their mouth. Looks like you got them pretty good. And
Nice.
Lady Shell is getting swarmed.
Brayley.
Or Brayley, I should say. And of course. But you were only bitten by one of the many, so you didn't take that much damage. Only one of them was biting your hand as you're kind of swatting him, so that's the extent of the damage. Ilaria, so you see the swarm starting to come through the doorway there.
I'm going to make an area attack roll, and since Commander isn't right there, I'm no longer at a disadvantage, right?
Correct.
Oof. Yeah, I'm going to end my turn there.
Yeah, they just kind of eluded your attack. They're just all over the place, and you're kind of...
And there's nothing I could really go on the spell side. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Maven.
So, I guess I'm just gonna ready my action again in case, because I know that they're susceptible to the poison. So I'm gonna hold my spell if I get a clear shot, because I can't move around them anywhere.
Correct,
so.
Unless you climb the table.
So if I climb up on the table, I would be able to get a clear shot at them?
Yeah, but you'd have to climb up.
Okay.
So I want you to do an athletics check.
Oh, okay.
So that way you don't fall or slip when you're trying to go up.
Acrobatics?
Either way, I mean, climbing is usually based off of strength.
Oh, okay.
Do I drag it or just
put it in a... Just drag it into the chat window. Or you can do either.
Sorry.
All right. So you're able to hop up, no problem. So go ahead and move your token to the south by 1.
Okay.
Okay, so you have a better vantage point from where you're at, so you can see what's going on now. So yes, you can use your poison on it.
Okay, so here we go. I'm doing the... Oh, I keep forgetting to drag it onto them.
Oh, what the heck? Critical success. So go ahead and drag your damage onto them. Let's see what happens. This should be pretty devastating.
They saved.
Oh, never mind. They saved.
Yeah.
Never mind. I
So
thought that was an attack.
And they have a lot of constitution.
So they're
That's
like
amazing.
not again.
There's a lot.
They're like not again. Sorry, I had your hopes up. That was a critical save. So not only. All right.
Yeah,
so
they critical saved on me too.
I know. All right. So go ahead and move your turn, Maven. I think that's pretty much it. All right, Monkai.
Buff rats.
All right, Monkai. He's gonna do what he does best. He's gonna
What's that?
go
Nothing.
ahead.
Let's go.
Yeah, right. He's going to punch things.
All right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So actually, can he punch from this distance, or
you have to move 5 feet in because the swarm is kind of going the other direction now.
If I move 5 feet, would that obstruct corner?
Yes.
Corner. Okay.
Yes.
Then I'll just throw my dart then.
All right. Yeah. Wow. Yay.
All right. Nice.
Nice.
Not a lot, but just chipping at them, getting one by one.
Tip couple by couple. Yep. It's a couple out there. Some stinging darts.
And I think that'll be my turn there.
All right. Are you keeping track of your darts? Yes, you are. Good job. All right.
Yeah, when I drag it over the attack, it actually does autofill it, or it has been.
Good. That's what you want. That's the only thing that does that. Spells do not. Okay, so Braley.
Good to know.
Rayleigh's tired of these things. She's going to try her Toll the Dead again and hope they're not going to be very wise this time. So she brings out her holy symbol and you hear this loud bong.
Darn it.
Stupid rats.
They're like.
I'm tempted to take out my, what do you call it? But we're only on the bottom floor, so I'm not going to waste all my spells. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to try and move back, though, because I'm tired of getting bit by these dumb things. So I'm going to move back 1 space and take an opportunity attack.
All right. Okay. So the ratty rats. Missed. So you just got through the pile of rats before they can nip at you. Nip at your heels, basically.
Nah.
Anything else? Okay,
No,
watch Commander.
Okay. He's picked up his longsword and he has a swipe. And he did. I thought he wasn't. No.
Nice. So the pile of rats is diminishing. You guys notice that they're starting to scatter.
Mm-hmm. That's his turn.
All right. So I think logically they're going to attack you, Watch Commander, instead of moving.
Yep.
There's not that many left.
Yep.
And of course they missed. They didn't. There wasn't enough time or space for them to get to anything vital, so they just tried to scamper up you, and few that are left.
You sound disappointed.
Yeah.
I am. I wanted them to bite the hell out of her. Bite the hell out of him, Cornwell. Okay, Laria.
Yep, I'm going to attack him. Nice.
Yep. Nice. So you dispatched the rest of the swarm. There's maybe a few that scattered, or some that are wounded. They're kind of limping off, but for the most part, that threat is gone.
Good job.
Yay.
Woo.
All right. Great job. So 2 rat packs dispatched. So you guys have found the treat. So for this particular area, you have found the treat.
Oh, there's treats.
All right. So next, so you want to pass your turn or move, Laria?
Would I still be able to move?
Yeah, you still have
Okay.
movement. You haven't moved very far or done any movement, so.
I'll move 10 feet up here. And then I want to move. About right there. I think that'd be
about
within
right.
movement.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so you're looking around in this kitchen-like environment. It really stinks bad. There's rotting vegetables and food. You know how when you have potatoes and onions that sit around a long time, they start to re-sprout? That's what you're seeing there. Have you guys ever smelt a foul, rotting potato?
Yes.
That is the smell. And then the meat and stuff that was on the counter is all picked through. But there looks like there's dried maggots that were on it at one point. The rats probably ate that. There are some dried blood splatters on the floor, like maybe from when they were butchering chickens or whatever these things were. And then there is a china cabinet to the north where the light was cast. It's like where all plates and dishes go. And then there is a husk of some form of animal. I think it's a pig or some kind of varmint like that that's laying down to its on the table. It is opened like it's been cut, and gutted. Surprisingly, the meat is not rotten, but the rats have taken lots of bites out of it, so it's probably not safe to eat. But if the rats weren't here, they might have stayed preserved because it's in salt. It's packed in salt and that kind of thing. So the rats ate what they could and left the carcass.
Okay.
And then there's a window to the south and there's a window to the east.
Okay.
And then behind Munkai is like a cupboard doorway thing, like maybe a pantry.
Can I possibly... No, I wouldn't be in range. Can I do a... I won't be able to do investigation from this distance now.
No.
Yep. Well, I passed my tier then.
Okay.
Maven? I guess, could I move up and investigate the pantry door?
Sure. If you have enough movement, I think you should. So go ahead and trace your path over to past Munkai.
Past Munkai?
Yeah. Need to go, and there you go. Okay. So the doorway's right there, heading to the north. It's like a pantry thing.
Yeah.
So you might... Go ahead.
Is it locked?
Yep.
Can I try and pick it?
Sure. I'm not sure how you're going to pick it, but you would use your sleight of hand. Or do you have thieves picks? No, probably not.
I don't think so. No.
No, I don't think so either. All right.
Didn't someone get a key?
Yep. She wasn't there though.
I think I handed that to the wash commander, or maybe I kept it. I'm not sure.
Right, but Maven wasn't around for that, so she's thinking that.
Right.
Okay. Well, could Munkai tell Maven that?
Yeah.
That we did find a key?
Yep.
And Munkai will hand it to her.
That helps. All right, go ahead and open it.
I'd use the key.
Yep, go ahead and open it.
And I will push open the door.
Click on the door that it's still closed.
Oh, I forgot I had to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, I can, but I want you to do it. Okay. So there is really nothing there other than an empty closet. It looks like whatever was stored in there was taken out. Perhaps the former inhabitants had emptied out their stores of food. It looks like there was dry goods and maybe canned goods stored in here. You can see drag marks on the ground, like someone had dragged some crates or something in and out of here. But it's pretty much just an empty closet under the staircase.
Okay, and I don't see any secret doors or anything?
Nope.
Okay, pass that info on.
Okay. I want you to roll a perception, though.
Okay. Oh, I forgot I put that in my thing. Sorry.
Okay, you look up and you notice that you can see the staircase, and there is a long, like a rod that goes through the stairs underneath. And then you also notice that a lot of the dust and cobwebs and stuff have been shaken loose from the ceiling.
I tell everyone about this mysterious rod.
Okay. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, Monkai. She has the key. You're standing there. You can kind of see some of this too. That rod does look kind of weird. It's basically it's at the same angle as the stairs, and it's running through some of the supports of the stairs. And the rod is made of like iron or metal or something.
So just so what is notable about the rod?
It's just that it looks like it's maybe a support. You don't know, but it's like a rod that runs west to east, and it runs down the length inside the closet of the stairs. So it's going from left to right, and there's like a hole drilled into the stairs through the supports where this rod is. And you noticed there's some hinges on the floor supports too. So you're looking up underneath.
Okay.
You're looking up underneath the staircase, basically.
Okay.
And so the ceiling or the roof here is basically the bottom of underneath the staircase.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. You said like there's like some hinges. So Monkai will kind of move underneath and see if he could investigate like where these supports are, and see if he could like tug on it, see if there's like a some sort of secret compartment or door or something like that maybe.
Well, you try to, move things around and such. All you can really notice is there is a fairly well-oiled hinge on each of the stairs. And then there's this rod that goes through. It goes all the way through the stairs, down towards the one direction and comes up from the top. It's made of metal of some sort. You think it may engage the stairs somehow.
Okay. Yeah, I'll notify the party of this, and I'll just kind of scan the room, just make sure there's no one in here or anything like that, and make sure that I guess mechanism doesn't lead anywhere else.
Okay. Nope. You just notice that there's, you're in a closet and the ceiling is the shape of the stairs, and you just see the rod going through the walls or the supports of the stairs themselves. And then you notice that the hinges run north to south along the stairwell or the steps.
Okay. And you said that I'm unable to move or
well,
actuate
the rod
any of these?
is actually you can move a little bit, but it's pretty firm.
Okay.
The stairs
I do
themselves.
have a crowbar. Can I put a crowbar to try to put some leverage into it?
Sure. So why don't you roll a athletics check and do some investigating with your crowbar. This is his crowbar investigation. This is how he does stuff.
I'm just trying to move the whatever this mechanism is.
So you play around with it, you pry on it, and then all of a sudden you hear this pop, and all this dust comes raining down on top of you, and the stairs up above now are flat, whereas it was graduated like a staircase. Now the hinges moved forward, and now the roof of the closet is now flat. You heard this really loud popping sound. And you also heard a big thump outside, like beyond the staircase.
Okay, gotcha. Monkeye, he kind of coughs and dusts himself.
Yeah, you got all this dust all over your cobwebs.
Trying to rub, get something in my eye. He asks if anyone has eye drops. And he tells everyone kind of how the staircase works and that he heard something outside.
Yeah, you guys heard that too, that thump. And you heard a snap, and then you heard this thumping sound. And you notice all this dust kind of blowing or billowing out of the closet.
And that'll end his turn. I think that's plenty there.
Hey, Brayley. So you heard this thumping sound outside the doorway, and you notice right about, I'm going to draw, since you're at the doorway and it's open, Brayley,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to draw kind of what the area. So I'm going to draw a pointer. So right about in here, maybe not that big, but in that area, the floor gives out, and you see like a pit, and you notice that the stairs are flat.
Oh, I was going to investigate the stairs. I guess I'm not when there's a pit in my way.
Yep. Well, you can actually get around it. I didn't draw it very well, so let me read all that.
Okay. I would like to look down into the pit and see if I can
Sure.
see anything. So perception.
Okay, hold on a sec. Go ahead and roll the perception thing in the dice tower. Guess that's about right. Okay, so you looked and it just like a drop. I don't know. You have dark vision, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you notice that there is a chute of some sort, and it looks very shiny, like it's like polished and greased or something like that. And there's this big chute, like a tunnel or something.
So is it coming from one of the sides, or is it like
it's going straight
down in it?
Down in it.
Okay. And can I get up on where the stairs were?
Yes, you can kind of inch your way past the pit.
Okay.
So if you want to move, yep. Where are you going to go? Okay.
Right there.
So you kind of have to
flat area, right?
Yeah, you have to climb up. It's pretty steep. So I want you to roll a let's go with a strength or athletics check. And Monkeye, you can hear someone climbing up the stairs from where you're at.
It's me.
Clump, clump, clump.
But it's not really.
I'm not a dwarf.
It's not really stairs, but it's around. Oh shit. Okay, Shell Brayley, please roll a dexterity or an acrobatics check in the dice tower, or in the open, actually.
Okay.
So at the last, you climb
dexterity?
up. Yeah, dexterity, or acrobatics, one or the other. Oh wow! So just in the nick of time, you climb up, and these aren't really stairs anymore; they're flat, like a slide. And you climbed up, and you got up to about halfway, and you lost your balance. And as you're climbing, you reach the rail or the wall, and you're able to to bring yourself to a stop before you hit the edge. So you slid down to about there.
So I'm confused. I thought you said this was flat. I wouldn't have tried to climb it if I knew it was sloping down into the pit.
You climbed it, and it's sloping down into the pit, and you made it. So.
Well, you gave me a bad description.
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't have done that.
But the stairs were flattened, and it basically formed like a slide going down.
Slippery dip. Yeah.
It's pretty steep. So.
Okay, I'm gonna yell in the door. Hey, out here, there's a pit, and you can fall in it, and I almost did. So, be careful.
Don't.
So I want to award you guys for finding that trap. It was kind of luck, and then you guys persevered. You didn't give up, so that was good. I'm going to share something with you since you found the trick. So you guys have found the trick and the treat on the first floor. So just kind of give you out of game, out of girls and out of boys. So I want to show you. Well, now that you know what's going on, I can show this to you. So I made this.
I actually have a spell called Find Traps, but I don't have it
armed.
Yeah, no, it's not studied or whatever.
Yeah. All right, let me. Okay, so there is a trap, the doom slide, and
yeah, I'm guessing we would have walked up those stairs and all slid to our death.
Correct. So this is what I made for the trap, just so you guys have an understanding what's going on. So this is, you don't have to leave this going, but basically, that you go down the slide, you fall in the pit, go down that spiral there, and there's a wedge.
I don't know if it's going to load for us because we're not on that map.
Oh, that's true.
I can't see it.
Ah, crap. Okay, so what I'll do is just temporarily. No, I don't even want to do that. Anyways, there's you could see it on the stream if you had that up, but I'm going to temporarily.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm going to temporarily show my my screen. So, because I did a lot of work on this, so I want to show you this. Go live. Okay, so if you connect to that, you'll see the picture. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is something I put together for you guys. It was basically just a diagram that kind of shows how it works. You trip and you slide and you fall down the pit. Go down this like spiral slide. It's a very steep one. It's greased. If you are a smaller human, like a dwarf or a halfling or a gnome, you have advantage. But if you don't save, then it's one of those things where you would have taken some serious damage. But there's a wedge at the very bottom that runs through the middle of the tube. So when you're sliding down, you're going to slide straight into that edge. And it's basically designed to cut you in half, and it would basically come out as two pieces at the very bottom. And then there's just a pit underneath. So that was a really nasty slide that...
Save then, guys.
Huh?
Girls, guys.
So
Everybody.
Thank goodness, that could have ended badly.
But you still have to find a way upstairs without sliding down the slide. So you're all going to be required to make a check, at least one, to get up to the top of the stairs if you want to proceed to the upstairs.
Is there a railing on the side?
Yes,
You could put
there
a
is.
table over it, maybe.
I'm going to tie a rope to the railing, and we're going to try and maybe pull ourselves up that way.
What's up?
By the way, who left? Somebody just left. I don't know which
It was
person Samuel was playing.
Yeah, we're going to have to wrap it up anyways.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
So
okay.
We're going to have to wrap this up. So there, you guys did a really good job. Like I said, sometimes these things take longer than you imagine because you're kind of stopping and helping. It's normal for that to happen, and if you don't get your full day into play, that happens. So don't get discouraged. It's one of those things where your time and those sort of things kind of get in the way. So I want to thank all of you for participating. We're going to call it quits, but you guys,
thank you for running it.
Yeah, you guys did really well. I know we only explored the bottom. I can tell you a little bit about what's going up on top, just so you guys don't walk away with nothing.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
So basically, after you get past this obstacle, there's an upper stair. So here's the bottom floor, as you can see that if you're watching the stream. And then I have my notes for the second floor, and I just put another encounter and another trick up there. So there's another trick and a treat up there. But basically, this is the upper part. I'm going to stretch this out so you guys can see that a little bit better. and there's a floor up there, obviously. This hallway out here is pretty much empty. Not a lot of stuff going on. There's a couple switches that you can move, and it basically triggers a secret door behind the bookcases, which lead into these other side rooms. And out here is more environmental, like it's very cold and chilly. The vision isn't that great, even if you have dark vision stuff, because there's a lot of this foggy kind of essence out here. Very cold. And then when you get closer, if you find one of these secret doors and you go in, there was a nice encounter here. This had your dark shadow guy, or whatever he said he saw. I don't remember.
Yeah, the shadow at the top of the stairs.
So it's a
That's what
dark
he said.
demonic ghost and some ghouls.
Well, I could have been useful there.
Yeah. And there was so this is the treat, and then the trick was in the other room. So the other room, if you look, I'm going to zoom in, and you can see the map of the table there. Did I see that?
Oh, that's cool.
So that would have your figures on there. I was going to put your tokens on there, and then, but I didn't have the second floor, so it kind of didn't make sense. But I was going to show like the little tokens on the table itself, just to kind of give you an idea of what was being looked at, and then down to the south, there is this Book of Vile Darkness, which is the tome that you guys are supposed to find. And Maven here was... go ahead and read your backstory, Maven, on your sheet.
I have to get back into it because I was busy watching the stream. Hold on.
Okay, well, I'll just read it. It says, I seek the companion book of my inheritance. So she had like an inheritance that she got when she was young. And it was the book that she uses to cast her spells, because warlocks are bound to, I think she's Book of the, or Pact of the Tome or something like that. And being that she's an inheritor as her background, I made this character up so she would inherit the background of that and the book that comes along with it. So when she was an adolescent, she was handed this book and she started to read it and started to learn its secrets and learn the magic. Well, in the back of the book, it says that there's a companion book. And this book here was one of the volumes that she was looking for to add to her power of whatever afterlife or whatever the secrets of the book were. So the book was in that room with the map. And then there's this treasure chest there, and that's actually a mimic that, in Fantasy Grounds, you can put encounters and have them preset. So what I did is I have the Book of Vile Darkness, the picture that I was going to show you guys, and then here's the parcel, which I would have actually put in someone's inventory if they took it. And then there's an encounter in here, which I don't know why I didn't link it here. Good thing we didn't run it. But there's an encounter where and there's more books, by the way, on the shelves, just kind of some weird titles. But the mimic is the treat, the trick. And it was already kind of ready to go, except I didn't link it. But when you bring that up and hit the down arrow, it brings up the token for which is the same as the chest that's there. So that would have been actually the encounter. And then this chest, I can make that go away with the map. So I can go to I unlock the map, and there's a layer that has the chest, and I can turn that off so that when the chest is attacking you guys, it doesn't look like there's two. So these are behind the scenes kind of stuff. And it said some of you want to run, content, maybe inspire you that. And then I did some streams where I was talking about this and, showing the setup. And then when I was doing that stream, I lost my internet. So I didn't even get to this part. So anyone that's watching now, if you watch the prep stream, it's showing the up to this point. And I wasn't able to show this part because it kicked out. So if you're watching the stream later, this would be your part 2 or part 3 or whatever. So I did 2 parts. I did one where I was preparing the characters, and then I did another one where I'm showing the DM setup. and I didn't get to finish it because it kicked off on me. My internet went down, and I wasn't gonna Zoom. So this is the behind the scenes stuff. So you guys, there was a trick and a trap on each, or a trick and a treat on each level, and then there's some little subtle things like that kind of made it kind of cool. Anyway, so that's in a nutshell. Happy Halloween, and hopefully you'll be inspired to do more with Fantasy Grounds and play in some more games and learn about the interface, because that's your biggest thing right now. Is if you're new, is to learn all the little things you can do with it, and it just takes time. You got to play with it. You got to put your time in. You get frustrated, you can always come to the college, or you can go to the academy, or we're called, and you can also go to the official forums. That's where a lot of the the help is, and you go to the official Discord and get help there too. So there's lots of resources, and the academy has a ton of videos. Lady Shell has her own videos. There's a ton of videos on YouTube. If you just do a Google search for like Fantasy Grounds plus whatever topic you're looking for, I'm pretty sure you'll find something. So it could have anything to do with combat or character creation, but I think as a new person to Fantasy Grounds, regardless of what rule set you're in, it's important to learn how to build characters correctly with that particular rule set. So that's the only thing that's really different about Fantasy Grounds, is obviously the rules for each rule set, and then how characters are built. But as far as the DM part of things, other than the mechanics, it's all the same. Like, you share the pictures, you manage the combat tracker, you set up the encounters, so all that stuff is similar. But the actual rules and the character creation is different. But once you understand that Fantasy Grounds is kind of universal to all the rule sets, it's not so daunting, and it's like, oh, I just have to know the little stuff in between, like the rules.
Learn the software.
Yeah, learn the software.
Need to DM 102 and 3.
Yeah, that's how you create. That's
101.
Yeah, 102 and 103. 102 we go through how to build a module, and then 103 is how to build the player options, like how to make your own custom classes and races.
Yeah, because I find I still get the problem when, like, I had a player that had a barbarian and the rage wasn't coded in. I had to go and search to find out how to write that in, and so I thought, and because I don't do it enough of them.
Yeah, that's a coding class that we offer, just once a month.
Yeah, I would do that as well. I want to do all of it actually over time.
Yeah, over time, really exactly.
Proficient.
Correct. Yeah. You don't. This isn't something you're going to digest in one day. It is a lot to take in. I need to
then play it to learn it. Like, I can't just do it class. I have to kind of do it repetitively before it sticks in my head.
Right. And another reason I cut, because I know someone else had to leave too. I think it was or Aikika. So that was another reason why we had to quit. But we only had about a half an hour left, so.
Yep.
No, it was fun. I'm glad you ran it.
Yeah.
It was good seeing that, especially this, because I'm going to be DM soon, so I'm glad to see this. I've been working through the Unity A to Z. I didn't know that the 101, 102, are those available on
They're
YouTube
classes,
as well?
but we don't. There might be one. 102, I think we have up there. But it's really just creating content. And sometimes that's appealing, sometimes not. So that's why I don't really film that very much, because of that reason. Because it's really specific to D&D, and it's more so than the 101. But I'll do a 103. I think I did a 102 not long ago. But there's a role playing one that I want you guys to watch that I did recently.
I watched that one.
Yeah,
it's like that. It made me feel like, I don't do that at all. It's like, I need to do that. But see, my brain is so locked onto running it, like, as a DM. I'm not doing any of the role play, really.
Yeah, and that's something that happens.
Still,
the only reason I did that, because there's a lot of GMs out there that's kind of a missing piece of the puzzle. They know the rules, they know how to use Fantasy Grounds, but they don't necessarily have to pull that together as a story. And that's what you're really trying to do, is tell a story and not.
Well, that makes it way more interesting. Like
Yeah.
some of the things you were saying was like, yeah, that would make it so much more entertaining for my guests.
Right.
You know?
And what really helps is if you have those rumor tables that I used. Those are huge. Like, I didn't have any of that before, and I wanted to make sure that the NPCs have something to say. And not just, oh, this is a townsfolk number 1, this is townsfolk number 2. I mean, you notice they were arguing a little bit, and that the woman was a little bit more dominant over Prayne, and they had a relationship, like they're both, like, not marriage or anything, but they were both scared, and they had nowhere to live, so they decided to shack up and go to this mansion to see if they can live there temporarily. And there's a table that I made. See, I have this like cheat sheet thing here, and this is what I ran everything from. So that has links to all the different things. And all this stuff here, these books, I found those and put those in here from a thing called like books you'll find on a medieval shelf or something like that. So I put all that in. The parcels, I made those just in case. Like, there was a reward, like 2 potions of gold or two potions of healing and 100 gold, just in case we got to the end. And then there's a story about the plague, like what exactly it was, and that's in case you leave the house.
Yeah, yeah.
And
this looks so more comprehensive. Like, I've been only running Lost Mine, and honestly, that's just so hard, like, finding your way around it. This looks.
So this is a note.
Better the way it's done.
Yeah, so this is a note, and all I did was drag the elements of whatever content to the run list.
That's what I need to do.
And you do this for every session. So you can even prep, like this could be session 1. I can make another note for session 2, and so on and so forth. And you can link them together. So if you need to know what you did at the last one, you can pull it up. So
that's great.
And then all this stuff here is just the stuff I need to run. Like, this was all the books, and then there was another parcel that was in the bookshelf, and then your NPCs, the neutrals. I had this was safe and Prayne, so in case you fought them, they had stat blocks, and it was an encounter just in case. I didn't plan for that to happen, but I know how people are, and sometimes during role play, you have an argument and you fight, and then so you have to have that ready in case.
Yeah.
Then
this is.
And
good.
then here's the 2 tables that I made that are safe and I was going to call them safe and sane, but or safe and sane, like safe and sane, but I didn't. That was a little too cheesy. But each one of them had each one of them had a table that you can bring up. That has the lore. So, like, one says, town is nearly abandoned, just like the mansion due to the plague. Or safe invited Prayne to try their luck at the mansion to look for help and refuge. Or the owner of the mansion, the recent owner, Baron Elfgar Stannard, was a wealthy and odd individual. He supposedly left in a hurry when the town was starting to show signs of the plague. So these are just different things that they would know if you kept inquiring, and it's random, so it's fun for me because I know all the possibilities, but which possibility is it going to be?
Yep.
So I can play off that with you guys. So
that's because it gives you a dynamic story to work with at that point.
Correct. And then the second floor, if you would have made it there, so the second floor is deathly quiet environment compared to the lower levels. Your footsteps echo eerily as you walk into a cool, misty blanket of colder air. The air is warmer above your head, the height of your head. So I was trying to give the impression that, how undead kind of have that cold kind of presence to them. So I wanted to foreshadow some of that undead stuff and, kind of just give you a rough idea of what you're walking into. Then I made myself some lore for myself. So there's 2 mechanical switches disguised as candle holders that are mounted on the walls. The temperature is cooler, and you can see your breath, so that was another thing I could put in there. And a mist swirls around the upper floors like a fog. So I left myself enough descriptions to, kind of make it a little bit more story. And then for the bottom floor where you guys are at, it says the doors are locked inside. So it's a reminder for me to say, oh, yeah, most of the doors are locked. Smells like urine and decay and rot food. Yes, we made damn sure of that. Black mildew, dark moldy patches. So these are just little prompts. So like if I start fishing for, like, you get writer's block kind of thing, you have those there. So and you can even make those a table. So if it's universal enough, you can roll and just send that to the chat and people can read it. So there's things you do to make the game a little bit more interactive and immersive. And there's things you do to kind of over prep a little, like, having those names of the townspeople and having them. I was going to write a little story about their little relationship, like how they met, and all that, but I didn't have time for that. That's a lot of detail for a one shot. So I just thought that, this would have been fun to run just as it is for 4 hours, and we go straight to the house. We didn't go like to the town, and there was stuff going on in the town that I didn't even get to. Like there's some kind of falling out that happened, and like the guy that runs the church, the priest, he's like a drunken, like he turned to alcohol because he felt like he failed the town. He didn't protect his people, and the guy that took off that lived in this mansion was weird. And there's a tower in the town that was a spellcaster who lived there, but she's not there at the moment. But some of her experiments got out, so she was a necromancer too. Some of her magic was let loose, and there's some ghouls in the town. Not that many, but there's a couple ghouls in town and near this graveyard where it's like actually a mass grave where a bunch of people were just thrown in there because of the plague. So there's some elements of the story that are tied in with the town. I didn't even want to do the town because that would have been all we did, was just the town. That's not always fun. That's a lot more exploration and roleplay than it is combat, except for the ghoul. So I didn't want to hold everything back because of that. So just started right at the door, so we don't have to go through all that stuff. But I did have that prepped. Like if we had to leave the house for some reason, I had plenty of content for that. So that's
a lot of work.
Yeah,
of work.
Took
to
me
be
about,
continued next year.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'll probably do something like this similar. Maybe I'll switch it up. Use a different place in the town. Maybe I'll do the Wizard's Tower next, because that's another place that hasn't been explored. It's locked up. I think it's magically locked, so you'd have to have a way to get in, but nonetheless, that's more content. I don't have to do that much more work because some of the stuff's already done. So I don't have to redo the whole town. I could just do parts of it at it. So that's another tip is, if you have an area, especially if it's homebrew, and you already have like things established, instead of reinventing the wheel every time you want to run something, just try to run it in the same area so you already have content developed.
You can also pull the same stuff you made earlier and incorporate it in something else.
And it helps with time and making it kind of connect. That's a way to make a connection in the game, so you're not all over the place. Because a lot of times people realize, oh crap, I should have done this, or it would have been nice if I would have had this table from this game. That's the thing is, being organized enough to and familiar. So there's a Ashford player map that comes with the content, and I use this. This is not something I made. This part, the town, I actually I use this for for the backdrop, and the town has its own story, so I just kind of built around that. And the mansion is actually this building here that is mentioned, or maybe it's this one. Yeah, this is the Ashford Manor. But I was going to use this building, which is the Burning Tower, which was where the Necromancer was. But I thought this looked closer to where the house would be than this mansion over here. So I just switched those two around. And then I was going to color the road, like, color the map in a little bit to give it more color with the map tools. So you can do that, just put a layer there and maybe put some color in for the trees and the river and, make it a lot fancier. But we never really used the town, so I didn't. But Safe and his wife live in this mill, or his friend or whatever. They both live near this mill. So that's where they're from.
Did you turn off the stream?
No, I'm still talking.
Oh. Okay, I didn't know if you wanted
I'm going to go ahead.
On the stream.
Yeah, so of course, I want people to see the process. So if anyone's watching, that's sort of the process that I went through to run the campaign. I want to say thanks for coming and hanging out and watching. Happy Halloween, everybody, and we'll catch you around. And if you haven't joined the Academy, please do so. We're looking for volunteers to help us teach others, and we're also looking for people to run one-shots and content once